Okay.
I don't feel any good about this.
I'm going to say this is one of the most important plays of the game.
One of your 5
Don't
key
spoil
plays.
it, VJ.
Yeah.
All right, no more timeouts. This is it.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
okay.
Jake Ferguson
Ferguson
fell
slipped.
down.
Left.
Wow. Wow.
Tolbert. Wow.
Even McCarthy
God.
can't believe
It
it.
was all I could do to contain myself there.
Wow. They told me grits was a part of the combo meal.
Oh, Jerry.
Hell yeah. I'm rub your
That
barrel,
almost
Joe.
killed Jerry. He almost had a heart attack.
Alright, 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 alright. Alright, 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 alright. I never listen, I'm gonna listen. I wanna listen to the dumb zone. I'm gonna listen.
All right. Let's see here. It is Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. It is the 7th of October. It is show number 245 for the Dumb Zone. I'm Dan McDowell.
I'm Jake Kemp.
I'm Blake Jones.
And we are here with you again. We are in our studio in downtown, DZTV studio in downtown Dallas. We are live streaming on the YouTube today. If you are listening to us later, as most people will do, you can go back and say, oh, yeah, look at it. There they are. They're in a TV studio. What's the deal with that? I thought they were like a radio show. And generally, I mean, it's Monday. So generally, we might hop right into football. But I got to tell you guys, man. Whew. I mean, you called me yesterday, and we're like, were you watching this? This Padres-Dodgers? Donnybrook? Donnybrook?
The Padres might be a team of destiny, Daniel. Just great games all up and down. You think I would miss the boys of October?
Dude, I'll tell you what. A.J. Preller.
Yeah.
He's a guy who will take some big swings, some big trades.
How about on Saturday? You know, there was a big play. Royals-Yankees tied, 7th inning, 5-5. Jazz Chisholm heading to second. Was the tag there? I don't know. But I know that the Royals manager, who is...
The Royals manager is
Oh, no.
pushing all the right buttons.
Well, in this situation,
Right
it was very upset with the
No.
call. He challenged it, and he did not win that challenge. Jazz Chisholm Trail ended up scoring the winning run in that one, 6-5. That was a great game.
You know what? I probably forgot to mention that baseball talk, and I have a little more. I mean, I have
It's baseball.
It's
It's
hours.
October.
We could do the whole show.
What else would you do?
the talking sport. We're going to say it's brought to you by Elite Rides DFW because that's like our newest sponsor.
Oh, my.
And they picked us up today at the Den.
They have their own water?
Yeah. QR code, no less.
Yeah, they have their own water. So it's Elite Rides
I'll be there for that.
DFW.com. And we got a promo code DZ15 for 15% off your first ride when you book via phone or website. So I guess they got a phone number too, which is 844-RIDE-DFW.
Yeah, that was
How'd they
pretty
get
sweet.
that?
That was pretty sweet.
It was really sweet. They have a Tesla in their fleet, but they didn't pick us up in the Tesla.
Oh.
What were we in?
We were in a decked-out Suburban.
Okay.
So they have the Tesla. They also have a Sprinter.
Dude, how
It's kinda
great.
like a party bus, which is great for games, concerts. Said he's picking somebody up in Galveston for a big family trip.
What?
Yeah, so they'll
I thought it was just DFW. But
no,
they'll
the
go,
name belies their full scope.
Yeah, but they definitely will cover anything in DFW. I was
Yes.
wondering, are they going to go pick me up? Do they go all the way out to South? And they're like
Come on.
laughing.
Come on,
Like, of course, yeah.
get
So good.
serious.
So yeah, I think they're really like to me, it felt like this would be great for like going to a game
Yes.
or a concert or something. You want to do a little drinking or something, you know? You
Yeah.
get that drive there and drive back, and it's like it's elite. It's in luxury. It's great,
So he dropped you off and he's going to pick you up?
and he's going to pick us up.
Correct. Yeah.
Wow.
But how great
Service.
was it just to be able to kind of get online.
Yeah,
just
worked,
work. Didn't
knocked
even
things
think
out.
about a thing. Weren't worried about traffic. Wasn't trying to weave in and out like usual.
You didn't have the smells of the dart train like I did.
No, man.
Nobody whipped it out like
So anyway-
you might see on the dart train. He said their prices.
I will whip it out if you want on the way home.
And with the tinted windows.
Although I
it's
don't
really-
know that
it's up to
me-
you.
Exposing myself is whipping it out. It's kind of like a.
Oh, look at it poking out there.
No. Here it is.
Is it like when you pour water on one of those little foam things
Let me
you had
work-
when
let's
you're a
work it
kid
out.
and it just slowly kind of expands?
Really, what we're trying to tell you is it was a great ride.
Yeah, their
You could whip
prices
it out if you want.
Very competitive. He said typically cheaper than your big Uber.
Yeah.
So
So
they got a big party. They got the Sprinter. Take a trip. 844-RIDE-DFW. It is elite.
EliteRides-DFW.com, promo code DZ15.
How about some water?
And you can go, go to our website, dumbzone.com, and it's on the promo code page. I put it up on the way in. I'm like, oh, new sponsor. So I could just do that on the way in.
That's incredible, Dan.
Hey, thanks, man. I wanted some affirmation from somebody, and Blake's just like staring at me.
Yeah.
How about Pete the
You-
Polar Bear Alonso?
You spelled
on
it
Thursday
wrong, but
night.
it's okay.
You guys probably covered that on Friday, like for a full show.
Wait, spelled what wrong?
Elite. I fixed it for you.
I did?
Slipping dog.
There's a T in there. But it sounds like you two were doing a little hand stuff. So
We were doing
maybe
hand stuff.
You're
We were
distracted.
toasting each other with the water.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's bringing us baseball talk today.
Mm-hmm.
And did you see? Can we play this video? Did you see the cool Profar robbing Mookie Betts of a home run?
What
And
do you think? Of course I did.
Okay, and then
Dialed
you
in.
probably saw it live, right?
Yeah, of course.
All right, let's pull it up and watch it and describe it for people, because there it goes, Mookie Betts.
Field, it sends Profar back,
Deep.
tiptoeing to the corner. He's at the wall. It is.
And you think he's like, did he catch it? Did he catch it? He's just kind of standing there. Mookie Betts is celebrating. He's pumping his fist going around.
Got the
second.
graphic on the television.
Mookie Betts is rounding the bases, thinking that it's a home run. Jurickson Profar says, I got it.
Dude,
That's awesome.
Doing the old, I'm going to just milk this.
He was staring
for
down
about
the crowd.
15
Oh, yeah.
seconds.
Hopping up and down.
How about the fact that Profar is
he
good?
goes in.
I
I,
know.
thought he caught it the first time.
Like, he's
but
kinda
but
great.
The way he was reacting, I'm with you. So he catches that ball. Now he's just going to
Barely.
play. You know what? I'm going to talk to the fans a little bit, bounce up and down. I'm not even going to let my teammates know I've got it.
Jurickson Profar
That's
goes
baller right
to
there.
Mookie
That's
Betts.
That is
It is
awesome.
lifted in the
That
air.
is a baller move. You know, I mean, Preller probably drafted him. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah,
So,
I guess so.
yeah, because my bid is all the GMs and the VP of
Oh, yeah?
baseball ops. Yeah. You know, there's Chris Young,
AJ Preller.
AJ Preller, you know,
all
all
the
the greats.
yeah, you got.
Good God. Profar had a 4.3 WAR this year.
He was good.
I mean, I know that's surprising to you guys. It's not as surprising to me, but
Yeah, you thought it was 4.1 earlier, and you're like, oh my gosh. Anyway,
Guardians defending the bridge.
tell you what, we really need that in Cleveland, because the other team not doing so well.
Yeah.
Might want to break off some Browns talk. I saw a stat that, well, this is baseball. I'm sorry. I want to respect America's pastime.
Now go ahead. I mean, here on the Dumb Zone, we could just do anything.
I think his numbers, by some advanced stats, of course, we're speaking of Deshaun Happy Baby Pose Watson, are the worst of any Browns quarterback in the last 20 years. Like with a minimum of 100 dropbacks. You go down that whole damn T-shirt. That
And
people have to
he's-
curve around at the bottom of all the quarterback
Like
names,
he's
and
worse
been the worst
than
And he's
Manziel.
200. Manziel's probably top 10 out of the 25. And he's got $250 million guaranteed. And they can't bench him, even though they got Jameis sitting right there.
Dude, Jameis.
Like if they had freaking, what's his name, Cooper Rush, maybe. Jameis. Flacco got him to the playoffs.
Mm.
Oh, sports.
So much sports. So now we must do a weekend check, and before we even do that, let's just get one more plug in here for ProSlat. Was this wall up here last time you were in studio?
I'm freaking amazed.
It wasn't?
No, that is
Okay.
incredible.
Rob
That's
can even
legit.
put up a time-lapse video if you want, but This is the garage. They're the garage remodelers, or what would we say? The garage fixers. They will help you organize your garage. If you've
They'll get your garage right.
if you can only fit one car in your 2-car garage, or maybe even no cars, they will come in. They will help you organize everything. Go to proslat.com, right? Is that the website? proslat.com. And they are a long-term partner with us, and you will just see what they can do at proslat.com. We were out at their brick-and-mortar building, which is in Richardson, Central and Arapahoe, or you don't call it Central once you get up that high, 75 in Arapahoe. And it's great. Their showroom is awesome.
I will be consulting with proslat.com and proslat.
Yeah, for your new
Yeah.
your remodeling of the house.
Much like Brussels sprouts, garages have had quite the the glow up, if you will, over the last 15 years. Your garage used to just be some old junky space. It was nasty. Now,
So you feel Brussels sprouts have made a comeback?
nobody wants to co-sign me on that? Danny can. He's a food man.
Hmm.
Brussels sprouts, when I was growing up, came out of a can.
Well, yeah, you dress anything up with bacon grease.
Well, it
and
doesn't
wrap
have
it
to
in
be the
stuff.
bacon grease. Now you can throw them in the air fryer. You put cranberries on them, or you can properly season
Again,
them
but
and
the
take care of
taste
them.
of the Brussels sprout has not changed. How you
I don't know.
make them.
Okay, so
Yeah,
garage.
yeah.
Hold on here.
Yeah.
Garages are Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
Proslat is the bacon and the,
And the
gr- like the
cranberry,
all
the
the awesome
glaze.
stuff. Like a garage is just a garage.
Yeah.
It's just a hole.
I don't want
Yeah.
that.
But if
no.
Proslat will fix it up for you.
Yeah, little vinegar.
It's the icing. It's the it's all the bells, the whistles.
Whatever you want.
Like
Yep.
it makes it awesome.
That's
Like
right.
the garage is your root wife. Proslat is the makeup and the
Yeah.
push-up
Boob
bra,
job.
the boob job. Yeah,
Yeah.
Proslat is
Pilates.
the boob job of garages.
Yeah. No, I see that on the copy.
It's the stuff. What do you inject in your lips? That kind of stuff.
Filler? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I thought we were pretty solid with one analogy, but if you felt that
Or the extra stitch.
Proslat is the extra stitch from that just disgusting. roast beef. Okay.
man, it's good to be here.
Well, anyway, you probably already know this. Brat Summer is over.
Yeah, Brad Summer been over, dog. We got into
Yeah, but now you're here.
Yeah, but what was
So
the
Brad
second
Summer
thing?
is
that
officially
big
over.
that big real heavy black girl on TikTok? Demure.
Precious?
No, they're not all named Precious.
Oh.
Lizzo.
No. You want to keep going?
I think I'm out.
We were done with Brad Summer after a month. We moved on to Demure.
We should also say Danny Bayless is in studio here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
He's been in, I don't know if you know this.
Morning.
He's been in here quite a bit.
Yeah.
I missed one. But TC stepped up.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
The Dumb Zone would like to introduce today's
Jesus Christ.
special guest host, Danny.
Oh, he's not really a guest host today. Today he's just here.
Dude, I just got to say, you ripped the shit out of that solo.
I didn't make that.
I know you did.
Who did?
What do you think? I think you're there
I need,
like
a,
you're
I need a
fucking
cool song about me.
Donald Fagen doing 100 tracks for a stupid.
Who did that? Is that Jameson?
So, I don't know. Jesus Christ.
What are you doing right now?
Banana?
He's mad at that banana and he's projecting it on me.
So I was going to I wanted to do this just to show you guys that I care. Because you hate when I eat an apple.
Oh, he's going to mushy food that doesn't crunch.
Respect.
That's how much he
Can
cares about
Can we
you.
maybe do it not when we're live?
What do you mean? I thought you'd want to watch me eat a banana.
Well, we had, that fantastic ride on the way over here from Elite Rides DFW. There's a break. There's after the show.
Yeah, well, no, I need so because we start the shows on Monday at 11:11, I'm heating up my food again. And so now my eating schedule's off. Like I'd usually be eating lunch right now. And so I have to have my post-show apple pre-show and my protein drink. I'll give you a protein drink.
Yep. There it is.
But I thought, okay, I'll have, instead of a pre-show apple, because the guys hate when I eat an apple in front of them, I will eat a banana. And therefore, not only will you not hear the crunching, but you'll be eroticized by watching me eat a banana.
Sure. How can I maintain focus?
Yeah. Anyway.
So are you going to eat it?
Weekend check? Well, I thought it's like story time. You haven't been here, and that's kind of the
You're going
elephant.
to take a couple plays off and get.
I was just going to sit around and enjoy the story and eat a banana.
Okay.
But for those listening, you didn't have to point it out. They wouldn't have
You're
known.
just a very regimented person, and I have not seen you eat a banana.
Right. And I bought these bananas. This is my weekend check. I went to the grocery store and I said, I know I'm seeing the play ahead of me because last week and maybe even the week before, I had to eat a pre-show apple in front of Blake.
Yeah.
And I could just feel his disdain.
Oh, there's a reason.
In the air.
It was palpable, I'm sure.
And so I thought, you know what? I bet they'd love it if I ate a banana.
Yeah. I
doing it for
I had
us.
some Brussels sprouts, but then I thought, no, that's weird.
I would
So I'll
again
go
vote
banana.
for no eating when we're talking to each other, but you know what? I'm behind the 8 ball here a little bit, so I got to work my way back.
You can just come back and make demands. It's cool.
Okay. So that's my weekend check.
Okay.
Does anybody else want to throw in a quick hit? Because I think we all want to hear what Jake says.
I got a fitness tracker watch and replaced the old one, and this one is better because it doesn't account my masturbating as steps. So it's an upgrade.
What brand are we working with there?
We went full Garmin, homie.
Garmin.
Yeah.
GPS and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's old school, Garmin.
It's amazing.
Yeah, Danny hit his step goal while whacking it.
Yeah.
It really
That's
It
awesome.
started vibrating. I'm
And
like,
I threw it
10,000?
off.
I haven't moved.
Yeah, I haven't done steps, but the Whoop used to ask me what activity I was doing when I was driving home in traffic. Because my heart rate would get so high for like a 20-minute period, and then I would just log it as like football.
Yes, mid-afternoon football.
He was either road jacking or thinking about football.
Yeah, that's right.
Both of those things will elevate your heart rate.
I've even had it whenever I was chasing my kids around. Because if your heart rate is over like 120 for more than 10 minutes, it'll ask you what you're doing. It doesn't have parenting or whatever, so I'm like, rowing.
Do you get it when you're watching what was the
Lindsey
he was
Sterling.
watching video game people yesterday during the Cowboy game.
Oh,
That one hurt.
It was like a major.
they took a tough L?
Yep, they got
Onyx?
They got reverse swept in the grand finals.
Was it Onyx?
No,
What was it called? What?
FaZe Clan?
Halo.
Okay, you're watching people play Halo
Yeah,
online.
Halo grand finals.
We have the Cowboy game in front of us. He's watching Halo.
Unbelievable.
I wanted to watch something I cared about.
We'll get to that.
My
All right.
turn? Yeah, so I went to the grocery store yesterday. Took my boy with me, did the Sunday shopping.
Didn't buy bananas.
Did not buy bananas, although I needed bananas. We forgot to put it on the list.
I could share one with you.
I probably can get
We
a
could
hold of
start at
some.
each side and just see.
Just Lady and the Tramp, that thing.
Yeah.
Grocery store with the boys, a good time. Went bowling.
Hell yeah.
Went bowling. Don't have it anymore, necessarily. I think I hit like 130.
Do you bowl left-handed?
No, I don't do anything left-handed except for right and jerk it. And eat. So really the essential parts of my existence.
The important parts of life.
Yeah, but I'm a straight thrower. I don't give it any spin. I just wing that center right.
You amateur.
But
Well,
I
speaking
did.
of thrower, a lot of speculation online that perhaps that has been Jake's absence. Was
I was in the lab.
like you will be back and you'll be hitting 88
Yeah.
on the
Well, I'm
gun.
close, Dan.
With movement.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a
10-6.
maybe you got quick Tommy John that you can really recover quickly from those things now.
And add velo.
Right.
Um,
Maybe he was under the knife for other. You recall the speculation about a name change and like invert your wiener and all of a sudden
I'm
you're a
Jackie
lady
now.
Yeah.
And I'm in the Olympics.
We said Jacqueline.
Yeah.
They put me in a Ted Cruz campaign ad
You're in the WNBA.
because I was just mossing the shit out of 5'7" ladies. So yeah, bowling.
No, you
first
do
floor.
it just so that you can win pickup basketball games with ladies.
That would be
Like
pretty
you
awesome.
don't even do it for the WNBA.
Just-
so you
just,
can go
just
run at
pride.
the gym.
I got some ice cream, and then also yesterday I checked out of rehab.
Whoa. That's where you were?
That's right, Dan.
I kept calling you.
I know. Yeah.
For like a month.
I forgot to tell you about it. But that's what I did. I bit the bullet.
Social media rehab?
Honestly, I'll get to that, but I didn't have my phone for 27 days. And everyone should do that if you can.
What, go to rehab?
Go no phone and just basically if I wish insurance would pay for it without you having to tell them that you have any sort of substance problem. Maybe not a month, but like 2 weeks, you do nothing but like work on yourself. And you can watch TV, I guess, if you want, but it's like as I'll get into, if you want it to be, it can be like a 16-hour-a-day boot camp for your mind, body, and soul. So I decided I was going to do this, and obviously in conjunction with my wife, before we went to Cleveland. So we drove down there the next day. So for my situation, as I learned when I got there,
was Jake here when I had to get the new battery for my phone? Because I went an hour without my phone, and it was like the most excruciating hour that I've lived.
Try taking a dump for 27 days without one.
Without a phone.
You're like, what do I do?
And you do like 4 times a day. So
Yeah.
That's a lot of dumps.
A lot of time.
Yeah.
No, that was while he was here because we mocked you for printing out your workout.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, okay. But I just know being without a phone, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Like it's terrible the way I feel about being without a phone. Like I can't, if I get in the car to go to the grocery store and I forgot my phone,
Turn
I'll turn around
You
and
could be in the parking lot.
I was just going for 5-minute drive and 5-minute back, but I have to have that phone. All right, sorry.
No, you're good.
That's probably not as important as going to rehab.
Yeah, and that's what I call it, by the way. They want you to call it inpatient treatment or a treatment facility, but let's be honest. It's fucking rehab.
Well,
right?
Well, it's both, I guess, right?
Yeah, but we don't need to dress it up.
They're treating you.
I still call it Indian style when I sit down, you know?
Yeah.
So my wife and I had made the decision before we went to Cleveland, and she just drove me down the next day. And for me, it was pretty
More
much,
her idea than your idea?
Maybe, but honestly, like I know, you know, it wasn't like an ultimatum, but I know. Something I have to guard against when I talk about this is when I got there and really started talking to people, realized I was not necessarily consuming my DOC, drug of choice, to the degree that basically anyone else there might have been, but I still wasn't going to be able to stop completely, which is what I wanted to do on my own. It just wasn't going to happen. I needed like a drastic measure because I could cut back. I could stop for a month. Last year I stopped anything for 5 months, and then we got sued, and I lost my fucking mind. But I just had to buy in and be like, this. I haven't tried this.
Can you say what your DOC is?
Yeah, I think it's donuts. No, yeah, just alcohol. I don't have a problem with anything else. I've tried a lot of other stuff, and I've never had a problem with it. Which is also kind of unique because that's just based on my experiences. But yeah, we own our own business, so that made it a lot easier. Dan and Blake were both
to
bolt go for 3.5 weeks. You were kind of the push over the edge of like, it's fine, we got it. It's not the end of the world. Blake and I went to dinner the night before we got back and talked about it. And y'all were both super supportive. And then eventually, when we talked to the whole team, everybody was super supportive. So I was like, you know what? Let's just do it. It's gonna suck, but it's the only way I'm gonna get to where I want to go, to where I can be the best version of me in every way. And obviously, there were parts of it that were horrible. Most of what we're going to talk about, probably in like an extra weekly podcast series, is how flat out hilarious the whole experience is. This is just like the serious part, I guess. Get it out of the way, and then I can tell you about I got stung by a scorpion.
What?
How that whole morning.
That part of the treatment?
It might have been. You know, it's funny you say that because
were there leeches?
There were a lot of things. There were a lot of things that happened there that would be really frustrating. Lack of communication, lack of organization. And I thought maybe they're doing this to piss us off to see how we react. Like, is this a genius? Is it like Jerry?
Right.
You know, and the way he runs a team, he's like, you know, our consistency is that we're inconsistent.
Yes.
That's sometimes how it felt. And
because
honestly,
life is going to be full of things that suck.
Yeah. So why don't we make it suck more than it would in regular life by, you know.
Yeah. So it's not like a resort vacation.
No,
where everything is
no. It was
waiting
in a
on
nice
your hand and
place.
foot.
It was on the down near the hill country, like south part of the hill country, and it was a really pretty place. It used to be a hunting lodge. It sits on like several thousand acres. I love that part of the state. I would not have wanted to do it in a city. You know, like I could take. There was a lot of walks. There was a gym, which was better than I thought it would be. And I'll get to all that as we talk about it. But basically, I wasn't going to pull this off without a pretty drastic measure. And so for me, like I basically started consuming alcohol the way that I think most people do, like in college. I wasn't trying to mask any pain or address some sort of like emotional situation. I was just drinking because it was fun and that's what people did. And it was fun. It was pretty awesome. And then as I got older and older, it was like, well, this actually makes me feel better and forget about things that I don't want to think about. You know what I mean? And then also, I think it's a great lubricant for meeting people and learning about people. So like when Kristen and I would travel, if you want to find out what people who are wherever you are in some far-flung country, if you want to find out how they live and what they think, go to the bar.
That's what you did with the somewhere in Mexico. You just ran into a bunch of Canadians or something. What was that?
Yeah, that was in Puerto Vallarta. But I mean, anywhere. Like I have fantastic memories of being everywhere in the world. And at night, you pull up to a dive at 11 o'clock, have a few, and you're going to have a good time.
You're going to
learn about stuff that you're not going to get on a tour, you know? So I do enjoy that part of it. But for me, it just became, as I got older, like hey, I have some problems, and this thing is a problem because I'm using it to cover up those problems rather than actually trying to address it. And I've been to therapy. There's a lot of value in that. Last year, I went to like group therapy in Southlake. It's not AA. It's a class. It's basically like a college class. It was 8 to 10 weeks, 3 nights a week. And you're just in a room with like 10 or 12 other people and you talk and they'll show you TED Talks and stuff like that. But mainly the talking part was helpful. And that was weird because that one was like, dude, there was never a time I was in there that there wasn't at least one pilot from American Airlines, at least 2 like surgeons. You know, not like, hey, I'm an RN or I'm a nurse, like a neurosurgeon and an anesthesiologist and an ER trauma surgeon and a CEO of some company and, you know, a software executive.
Probably some lawyers.
Oh, yeah. Definitely a few lawyers. This time was a little different. This time was a little different, as I'll get to. But, you know, as they say, like, it doesn't discriminate. And so for me, it just, I wasn't stopping. You know, I would stop for a little while. Like I said, when I did that bit last year, I stopped for 4 or 5 months, and then I was able to kind of keep it in check for a few months. And
so did you like have to detox?
Well,
like
so
physically
yeah, I mean,
you had to have it. And then the first couple nights, like I'm thinking of a hardcore drug rehab or something where they're shaking in the bed and puking in a bucket next to the bed.
Yeah, so I was going to get to that later, but since you brought it up, I can tell you that I didn't really have that issue. I did have like a couple drinks on the way down with my wife because I was really freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
And I got made fun of by people there, like in a gallows humor, joking type way for blowing like a .07.
They make you do that right when you walk in the door?
Oh, yeah. And several other people were like, yeah, I don't remember getting here.
They were just saying that's weak.
They were like 4 times the legal limit.
Okay.
And some of them were just normal, you know. You would look at them and not think like, oh, this guy's a junkie or something. So those people, if you're in really bad shape, you're going to have some pretty serious detox time. And they give you like a ton of medication if you want it. So they have like what they call a taper, which I guess is just supposed to do what it says it does, like taper you down so that you don't have like crazy withdrawals because you can die if you're bad enough.
Yeah, in the old days, if you were so physically dependent upon alcohol and you just quit cold turkey, it would literally kill you.
Yeah, heroin and alcohol, that will kill you.
So what, they give you like 1 beer a day or something?
No. It's a medication that kind of seemed like it was
kinda
well,
cool,
I have heard of that. And in some ways,
not light beer for this week.
In some ways, that's kind of what I did. Like I went from, hey, I'm having 4 or 5, you know, almost every day to like before I left down to, like I said, 2.
On Sundays, they give you a placebo in the form of a Coors Cutter.
Well, dude, I mean, you remember Uncle Daycare? on Gillian Keeves?
Yeah.
Where they're like, they're scheduled for one beer at 8 o'clock,
Yeah.
one beer at 11:30. So what they don't give you alcohol, but they'll give you like what they call a taper, which seemed like it was a feel-good drug of the highest degree.
Did you get any of that?
No, I didn't take anything.
Uh,
I didn't need it. They wanted me to take an anti-seizure medication. I was like, I've never had a seizure, and I'm not about to have a seizure. Like, look at my levels, look at my blood pressure. They'll give you like an insanely high dosage of sleep medication, of the same medication I take, but I take 50 of it, 50 milligrams, which is the lowest one they make. And I don't even know if it works for me anymore. They were giving people 200 or 300 milligrams, and they are just gone for 4 or 5 days.
okay, let me
So when
ask you
I got
this.
there, I was like, I don't want any medication. I'm not having any problems. When can I go work out? And they're like, not for 5 or 6 days. And I got them to convince me to let me do it on day 3. They don't want you working out because you could die. So I didn't take anything. And during that time also, you don't have to go to any meetings, any appointments, any group time, because they assume you're fucked up to the point where they don't need you walking around.
Did you have any
Whereas
of the
for me, like on the second day, I read half of Boys in the Boat and walked like 4 miles.
Did any of the staff at any point check in on you and you're kind of fine and normal and go, are you sure you're supposed to be here?
Well, no, I mean, because there's a couple
you
things.
described
One-
it at other people making fun of you for blowing a .06, and these guys are showing up like 4 or 5 times over the legal limit.
Yeah, but it's still just a thing of it's alcohol. Maybe the day before they don't know that.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and it's still with alcohol and with opiates, you're going to have a bad time. Most people. For me, I was just depressed because I was there and I was fucking crushed and I missed my family and I missed you guys. If you look at my journal from the first couple days, it's pretty rough. But then I just started going to everything. I just started going to classes that, they're like, you don't, they would literally tell you, like, you don't have to do this. I'm like, I'm not just going to lay there all day.
Yeah.
You're like Zeke being in the quarterback meetings.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
You're
exactly
the Zeke
right.
of the rehab center.
That's exactly right. So, did you have something you wanted
A
to?
little bit slower
Yeah.
than we thought you were.
Did you have something you wanted to say before I feel like you were about to.
Well, I did.
Interject.
I was, but then I don't know because I know we want to save some of this, and we
I've
want
got
to keep
10 hours of stuff.
if we just do like a Business Wednesday type series and just talk every Wednesday for an hour or something, like it's good for the subbies and all that kind of stuff.
It's good stuff too.
Keep it behind a
I will
paywall.
tell
But
you.
I was going to just ask because you mentioned going to sleep, and I remember when I was drinking quite a bit more back in the day, and I remember a movie that I saw. It was Rodney Dangerfield, and he was a guy just doing lots of drugs and drinking and all this kind of stuff. And in order to get an inheritance, he had to clean up. He had to be clean for like a year or something. I can't remember the movie's name.
Was it Brewster's Millions or?
It's not that because that was a different actor. But what his line was that me and my buddies would always reference was, I don't know how to go to sleep. I only know how to pass out. And that was like my life.
Yeah, I wasn't doing that.
For some time. Okay, that's what I didn't like. So you're still able to go to bed and get to sleep and not without. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was obviously at some days like hiding it from my wife, but I would not get to the point usually where it was like super obvious. But I was still, if you're hiding it, if there's something that you're hiding.
Easy money,
and
Rob tells me. That's what it's called. Yeah.
If there's something that you're hiding or something that you want to quit and you can't quit on your own, then you have a problem.
Yeah.
No matter what it is. No matter how much you're doing, that's just what it is. And that's what it was for me. There's no other way to describe it than that. So just a timeline again is like after last year when we got sued, I know we talked about it openly and emotionally, but I had a really hard time with that. Like I was enraged by the whole thing. I really wanted to like hurt somebody. I was sad. I was depressed. I had like a breakdown and I was like, I
Probably
can't.
scared a little bit too.
For sure. And so I just started back up and never really completely stopped again. So I wanted to. I don't want to moderate. I don't want to cut back. I wanted to stop. Because I want to be alive. I want to be healthy.
So are you no longer a guy that can just have a beer?
No, I mean, I don't. Obviously, there's always going to be a part of me. I guess I'll just speak for me. We use I statements here.
Is that what they say?
Of course. There's always going to be a small part of me that thinks that I could. but I also know what that comes with. I mean, dude, there were people there. There was a guy there who was in his mid-40s.
Can you still do blow? Please tell me yes.
We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
Tell me yes.
There was a guy there,
H?
Latino guy, and when I talk about these people, I am going to mention their races every time. That's an important factor here, and it's okay to do because it was not all white people.
Okay.
You know, usually when it's like 90% white people, you don't say like, oh, he was a white guy.
Okay.
At least white people don't say that. So this guy is a Latino guy from Amarillo, super cool dude. Gave me a haircut while I was there.
Okay, yeah.
He cuts
It's
hair on
looking
the
tight.
weekend. Yeah, I got 2 of them up, which I'll explain. He was sober for 10 years, from like 28 to 39, and went on vacation and drank once and went on like a 3.5-year bender.
So kind of like, remember Josh Hamilton, like had one beer and
Yeah.
all of a sudden his shirt's off.
People are licking whipped cream off his
Yeah,
nipples.
he's buying Coke. He's doing everything like
Yeah.
from one beer.
Yeah, so, you know, you get into a lot of stuff that they teach you about. A lot of the stuff I knew because these people only have so much material for the curriculum. You know, I'd seen a bunch of the videos before, or like the TED Talks or the worksheets and the cognitive behavioral therapy and all that. Mostly what it is it's just like the feeling of this deal where I have no freedom at all. This is what my life would be like if I really fucked up, but not quite there.
Mm-hmm.
This is what it would be
got
like
ahead of it.
if I lost my family because I can't see them, I can't talk to them. So that plus hearing from other people and their experiences, like, really is the program. It's the people. So
Do you identify now with Jim Irsay? Are you like, that's a brother of mine now that
man, I don't know
he and I
because
could get along?
I know that he bought the Big Book original manuscript for several $1 million, but man,
Yeah.
he's still, I think he lives pretty wild still.
Just
Like,
in a different way.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like he's been arrested since then, but in any case, you know.
It sounds like what you're describing is seeing all the lives of these people that you were in there with. You were kind of seeing possible
Scared straight.
outer
Yeah.
lines of a potential ripple effect if you'd have stayed on the same path.
Yeah, and also those people also have a great chance if they put the work in for that to be their last time too. You know, if you're alive, you have a chance. So I'm not saying that like mine was like so much better and oh, now I know from seeing how bad theirs was. Mine
It's
was
all
bad
relative.
because I couldn't stop. And so, you know, there's an obvious like disease choice thing, which I know Dan and I have talked about before. There's I'd seen this movie before,
Yeah,
documentary.
is it a disease?
So there's this really corny thing on YouTube. The production is ridiculously corny. I think it's an hour and a half. It could easily be 40 minutes, but it's called Pleasure Unwoven, and it's by a doctor named Kevin McCauley. He was a doctor in the military, and eventually was a doctor in the military who was in jail in the military for writing his fake scripts for himself and taking like 50 pills a day. But he has like a really good breakdown of the whole thing. And I also understand there are going to be some people who never see it that way. The way he puts it and walks it through is it's not a disease, it's not a choice, it's a disease of choice. So in your situation of, I think the one he uses is like it's an Old West saloon and, you know, there's an alcoholic, which he makes look really funny because the production's hilarious. His face is all messed up. He's like rubbing his lip, all drunk style, Old West. And a guy hands him a glass of whiskey and says, you can have this, but I'm going to shoot you in the head. And the guy says, well, no, I'm not going to have it. So that would say it's a choice.
Yeah.
But his point is that
You can say that about cancer.
his point
That
is
if you
that
don't get rid of that cancer else.
right, that the guy who is an addict is still kind of thinking, I want that.
Okay.
And still kind of thinking, I wonder if he actually has bullets. Or still thinking, you know what, I don't even care as long as I
That
get
a
the
bluff.
drink first.
Yeah.
Or maybe the gun won't fire. And that part of it in your brain is what he would say satisfied. But I don't care. There's going to be people who don't see it that way. And I fully understand that and accept it. There's going to be people that are like, why don't you?
Like you can't check into a cancer rehab center and then just because you're away from the cancer, it means you're
No, but it's kind of like
You're
with,
healed
you know, with
pretty
like
much.
diabetes, for example. You know, some people eat their way into diabetes.
And you can eat your way out of it.
And if you get treatment and you do the right things and eat your way out of it, it can either become a non-factor in your life or you can't cure it, but you can have it not affect you anymore. Diabetes is widely accepted as a disease, type 2 anyways, as like a you kind of got yourself here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of people with diabetes too still eat like shit because they can't stop.
I don't know. Is high blood pressure a disease?
Yeah, cholesterol, high blood pressure, stuff like that.
Because that's why I started eating a lot better.
Yeah, my cholesterol was a
and
little
losing
high.
some weight because they're like, this will help you lower your blood pressure. And then they're like, but you haven't lost enough. So here, we'll just give you this medicine.
Yeah,
I'm
which
like,
I'm
cool.
sure there's no side effects from.
I don't know.
So the last thing I'll just say, I guess, and we'll talk about this a lot. People have questions. I'll try to answer them on the show. I'm not going to probably answer every email because there's a lot. But I do have some hilarious stories. Maybe I'll tell you just a little bit here, and then we'll save them for the separate series. But I do think in some ways having this job prevented me from taking more drastic steps earlier because I didn't really ever want to.
No, this is where he blames us.
No.
Fine.
Oh,
It's okay.
Yeah, I was always really embarrassed. You know, I didn't want, like, some people, you have a job. I mean, even like I said, those pilots or those doctors, like, they're
embarrassed about the public knowing.
Yeah, and even the public knowing and having to say to people like in a very different way. You know, people I would talk to would be like, man, I'm gonna have to tell, you know, so many people, like there's gotta be at least 20 people that I'm gonna have to break this down to. And I'm like, yeah, well, mine might be in the tens of thousands. Total.
So cocky.
But the good news is I kind of only have to do it once, you know?
Yeah.
It's just a really weird deal that most people that
Once and every Wednesday for the next
yeah, but that part's
3 months.
fine. I just mean this part that sucks of admitting it, owning it, feeling shame about being away from the show.
Did you have to say that?
Feeling
Did you have to say, hi, my name is Jake, and I'm alcoholic? And they're like,
You could say recovering alcoholic. That's only AA, though. The rest of the program,
okay, so this isn't AA.
you have to go to AA every night. For
During
1 hour.
this?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's led by someone there. I led 2 of them, you know.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, felt back in the element a little bit.
I'm
People were really into the
kind of used to this, public speaking.
Dude, honestly,
You guys talk Cowboys?
I made an I also have a lot of watching Cowboys with people in treatment talk for you, but
Okay.
dude, I made an outline for
Why are they running the ball again? They keep going nowhere.
They're the reason I'm here.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I made like a run sheet for the 2 AA meetings I led, like it was a show.
Okay.
They had news at the end, and
Well,
why
yeah.
today doesn't
Yeah.
suck, and
Sponsors, like literally.
this dark story is brought to you by ProSlat.
Yeah. So you didn't have to do that in class, though. You know, it was just a class where you'd be an hour and there'd be 15 minutes of a break. You didn't have to introduce yourself like that because
Okay.
really, dude, it is like being on The Real World Addicts because you're with the same people all the time. And maybe
You've seen that? Okay, I've never seen that.
No.
No, I've made
it's
that
a
up,
fake show,
yeah.
but it's
Oh,
something that
I'm sorry.
It just sounds
I thought
like
it was like a Dr. Drew show. Or
no,
sounds
they
like
had
it
like
could be real.
celebrity rehab.
Yeah,
once upon
okay.
a time, but we all were like, I'll waive my HIPAA rights if we can get this thing sold. Because every single day, if not one, if not at least 1, 2 or 3 crazy shit that would happen. Crazy. I mean, you got 40 people who are all kind of trying to quit drugs or alcohol, who go to class together, they eat together. We're in like we're volleyball.
Old dudes?
No.
Oh.
No, it was probably 60% dudes.
some hooking up.
No, I mean, I've heard that does happen for sure.
Did they say anything at the beginning like, hey, if we
Of
find out
course.
that you guys are hooking up, you're kicked out?
Yeah, I don't know if they kick you out, but I know that it's definitely not good.
Because I would imagine for a lot of people that go through addiction, they go through treatment like that. Sometimes it's replacing one with another, and sex can definitely fall under that.
Yeah, and so there was a guy who worked there who was awesome. He was like the guy that led fitness. Like they had workout classes twice a week that he would lead with like 12 dudes, usually the younger dudes in one, the older dudes in another. And if you wanted to go,
What are you?
younger for sure.
Okay, I didn't know.
If you wanted to like really get
Like
after
mid.
it, that 45, 50-minute workout was easily as hard as anything I ever did in APEC in Fort Worth, where Mahomes and all those guys trained. Like if you wanted to go get it, my workout partner was like a 26-year-old dude Latino dude who was a mailman who was had a cocaine problem. He was not really a drinker.
He would just sprint between houses.
We got fucking after it, big time.
He was done by noon.
Yeah. So, I don't even remember how I started talking about that. But the guy who led the fitness class.
Oh yeah.
He just got out of treatment like a year and a half ago.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, in the orientation thing, he's like, you do not get a rehab boyfriend or girlfriend. He's like, trust me.
Oh.
He's like, it's a bad idea.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm
He's
interested.
Like, you've got 2 red flags.
Yeah.
Walking red flags.
Dude,
like,
you
what are we
imagine
teamed
That's
up?
your foundation.
That's the greatest
Yeah. And he's like,
sex you'll ever
Yeah.
have.
he just
Rehab
kind of looked at
hookup?
all of us and
Rehab
he's like,
hookup?
just trust me.
Because you know you'll get kicked out, and then if you get kicked out,
But we
you
got
guys
each
both
other,
just,
baby.
Yeah.
You just check into a hotel and go on a bender with her.
Yeah. That sounds like a great
Be
idea.
great. Yeah.
Sounds
Gotta
fun.
bet that happens all the time.
Yeah. I mean, listen, dude. Somehow I was not really thinking
digits?
about that part of my I guess brain or anatomy at all, but there definitely were dudes who were. Like there were some horny motherfuckers in there. And most of them had been to prison, which I think in prison it's pretty common to just verbally constantly abuse
about-
and hit on the correctional officers. And maybe whip it out and show it to them.
Okay.
Did you see any whipping it out?
I heard of
We're
one.
saving this for Wednesday.
I heard of one.
Okay.
I heard of one. So the way I heard of it was from my roommate. So when you first get there, they make you go to a detox thing, even if you're not detoxing. You don't have to go to class if you want. So I did. You're in a room, and it's like I said, it's an old hunting lodge. So, and like I think it became a wedding venue. So imagine a room. I don't know. This is kind of hard to explain, but it's basically from the ProSlat wall, thank you proslat.com, to where Rob sits. So I don't know what that distance is. And then the detox, there would be 3 beds in there. And it was nice. And a TV. So then you have 2 roommates. And there's a nice bathroom. Then they move you after like 10 days to a smaller room. That one just has 2 beds, but it's also a nicer room. I mean, it's not like you're in a motel.
How much stuff do you pack?
Like,
is it just a carry-on?
I don't know. I brought like our big suitcase.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and my wife shipped me some stuff.
Because do you do laundry and stuff?
Yeah.
This is probably too much. We'll get into that.
No, you do laundry.
later.
I will tell you one thing about taking my wife's suitcase. She took it on her most recent work trip, and I thought I got everything out of it. And then when they take everything out of all your bags.
I was going to say, they got to search probably.
It takes like 4 hours before you get your stuff.
You can't have a shampoo bottle.
Everything has to be closed.
Because it might be.
Nothing open.
Did they jack the fleshlight?
Hold on. Not quite. But so they take everything out of every one of your bags. They don't give you a lot of your stuff until
Did they
you
check
move
your
room.
anus?
No, but they did have me like lift my sack up. And I
so you
heard
get
about
a nude check.
I heard about a girl a week after I got there. I didn't find out until the next day because, as I'll get to, I was getting in bed at 7:45 every night. So when I would get up in the morning, I would hear about everything that happened the night before, and I would just write it all down. She came in, bit hefty, sounds like.
Okay.
Did not know that in her check they were going to ask her to lift the titties. She had a heroin and a needle.
Whoa.
Damn.
Taped under her heaving bosom.
Taped.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Would that be weird, like on a date?
Yeah. You're like, what?
Rip the bar off. What are these
Yeah,
doing under
all
here?
of a sudden, you're just nodding off.
God, so the wife's suitcase?
Yeah,
They're
so the
going
wife's
for that?
suitcase, they brought, they don't bring the suitcase back. They bring all your shit back in a laundry bag. And then everything but your computer and electronics in your backpack. So I had my books. Boys in the Boat, The Little Men in the Boat.
Good?
Unreal.
Yeah.
And I continued my
Tim Collishaw gave me that.
my McDowell tour of earliest 20th century Europe, about halfway through The Guns of August.
Oh, that's a great
yeah.
book.
Yeah.
Hey, World War I?
That's the World War I? Yeah, yeah.
What a mess.
Yeah.
You think?
It would have started even without the
Kind of seems like,
assassination.
yeah,
right?
it both would have started without the
It was a
Archduke.
powder keg, I tell you.
Also, might not have needed to happen
Yeah.
in retrospect.
Yeah. Certainly didn't need to drag out as long as it
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
So they bring you back your books. They bring me back
Trench warfare.
a laundry bag full of all my laundry, and I'm unpacking it, and there's a pair of my wife's underwear in there.
Hey, now.
That she had left, like, zipped in one of the tiny pockets from the last time she took it on a trip. So now I'm like, all right, there's
They
a couple
thought-
scenarios here. either they think that I brought these underwear for me, because occasionally I like to wear a thong, or that I'm going to jerk it to my wife's underwear while I'm here. But either
Both
way,
plausible
the
outcomes.
staff member that I'm going to see for the next month every day, he just packed this lady's thong in my.
Did you have to like explain to him, or you just let him think?
Well,
who knows what this guy?
It was in the bag, and then I just let it go.
Awesome.
Yeah. So the last thing I'll say about it before we move on to something of more importance.
You know, there's
I'm going to tell you
nothing
about
more
my
important
roommate.
than your health, Jake.
I'm going to tell you about my
Isn't that
roommate,
what you're
okay?
supposed to say?
I don't know.
My roommate, who was my roommate in detox, the detox room, he did need a detox. I think when he first got there, he went to the hospital for a couple days. And then when he came back and I first went into the room, he was on everything that they would give you, and he was out like zombie. And I just thought, I don't want that. I don't want any medication. But by the next day after that, he was super, super cool. He is from the Valley, I think McAllen.
Okay.
Like 5 minutes from the border. He's about 5'4", extremely gay. Like the most effeminate dude you've ever met, and takes pride in it. And he's also like the most street smart, and after 7-8 years locked up, the most prison smart person you could ever meet in your life. Like he's a bad motherfucker, but he also like might give you a Z snap.
Mm-hmm.
And he had 2 robes with him. He acquired an iron somehow, among many things he acquired. And I'm going to wait till I know he's out to tell you what all. None of it illegal, but stuff weren't supposed to have. He would lay out his clothes every day. He would iron his clothes. Could never get my bed to look like his bed.
What do you mean? Oh, just
perfect.
like he's a Marine type
Perfect.
thing? Okay.
And we were both really clean, and that's why there's no guarantee you're keeping your roommate when you move to the 2-person room. And we fucking biggest hug when we found out, because he was like, you're clean. He's like, I got to keep you, bud.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, I got to keep you because you're hilarious and one of the most interesting people I ever met. This is him, Dan. Don't show this, but I just want you to get a feel for it. Oop. So
I hit.
Oh.
My finger hit.
Oh. He's full sleeves, face tattoos, head tattoos, dresses super snappy.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
He's hilarious. He's a constant shit talker. And we became like best friends.
Did you just say face tattoo?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he
bold statement when you're going to do that.
He had a couple
like
I think he would say like prison ruined my life. Like I wasn't a criminal, I got caught up in something.
Mm-hmm. What was he into?
Alcohol.
Drugs, what? Okay.
I think he might have been into the commerce side of drugs, but not the consumption side of drugs. And he was freaking hilarious, dude. And he was such
So you got
a
his
sweet guy.
digits?
Oh, yeah.
You're going to remain in touch
A
with
lot
him?
of people give you digits, but we actually like each, without knowing it, left each other a letter when I was leaving.
Left each other a letter?
Yeah. Like he was awesome.
Somewhat of a love letter?
Yeah. Dude, we literally were like, we were an old gay couple.
That's great.
Like we would take each other's laundry. We'd bring each other like extra snacks from the lunchroom that we weren't supposed to have. You know, like he had acquired at first against the rules and then eventually with the rules, a radio from the pool area so he could listen to like their version of Kiss FM every morning while he got ready. And he would get ready. You know, he would eyelash curl, foundation.
Stop.
Yeah, for sure.
That's amazing.
Yeah. He was a bad bitch, as he would say.
How much longer does he have?
Not long.
Yeah.
Not long. And we were, yeah. And so another thing about him, he really loved the Aaron Hernandez show.
Ah,
really?
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
You guys watch it
I
together?
can't stop watching it, but it's so bad.
He had read the book in prison. And he's
the
like,
Belichick character and the,
yeah. And
it's hilarious.
Urban Meyer. But he was like, oh, is that the cute one from that I read the book about? And I'm like, yeah, that's him. And so the first episode, you know, they're getting real into the gay stuff. And I'm like, man, is this uncomfortable? You know, I don't know how he feels about this. And then like the next day he was like, what time is the Aaron Hernandez cutie show on tonight? I'm like, it's every week, bud. And he's like, well, remind me. And so for 4 straight weeks, we would usually fall asleep between me 8:15, him 8:45. On Tuesday nights, bud, we stayed up to watch what he called his boyfriend.
If you're going to bed at 8:15, what time are you waking up?
Never in bed after 4 a.m.
Whoa.
I woke up at 4 o'clock on the dot, too, today, even though I didn't go to bed till midnight.
Do you think that'll keep going for a while? Or
I'll get back to
even
like
out?
5:15 pretty soon.
Yeah.
But we stopped setting the alarm because I would get up at 4 and he was always up by 4:30 to 5.
God, I wonder if your rehab roommate would ever appear on here.
Oh, he does, and the other guy we had from our original room does.
They want to?
Early 50s, yeah. He's early 50s, and he had done off and on, I think, 13 years.
In the clink.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was my first day. So I was like, holy shit, man.
Jeez, man.
This is a little bit different. But yeah, Eddie loved the Aaron Hernandez show. That's the only night we would stay up. Like the first time, maybe it was the second time we watched it, he was like, He's like, if I had met this man, he's like, he'd be paying child support.
Let me ask you one thing real quick. Did at any point in 28 days, I guess?
Yeah, I think I left at 27.
Did you ever feel unsafe or have any fears?
At least 3 times.
Okay, and number 2, were there ever any conflicts with other
with me and
with
other people?
Yes,
or other?
yes, with you. Did you ever have any problems with any where you felt like, I think this guy might want to kick my ass?
Not really.
Nothing?
I would say there's either 0 or half of one. And the coin of the realm at the treatment facility rehab, folks.
Cigs? Vapes?
Anything nicotine, dude.
Yeah.
Anything. Lucy?
There is no, I would say 90 to 95% of the people there are consistently using 1, if not 2 nicotine products, whether it's dip, pouches. Yeah, get yourself a Lucy, which I had. Gave them to a couple people, and they're like, whoa, this is way better. What is this? And I'm like, let me get you a promo code.
It's Dumb Zone.
Yeah, and so that vapes, people who didn't smoke at all, vapes are, there's nobody there not, but the vape is a huge plus. Not only does I think it's probably not as bad for you.
Not stinky.
When you get a 15-minute break every hour, the cigarette people have to go smoke. But I would just stay in the class and keep writing and reading and vape because there's nobody in there to tell me to stop. So every day there's probably 5 15-minute smoke breaks. I just created an hour and 15 minutes. I'm like, I literally became like one of those douchebags on Instagram and TikTok that's like, I'm getting 3 days out of every 24 hours. Here's how.
Yeah.
That's how it was. I would eat all my meals in 5 minutes or less and then go on a 10-minute walk. And the meals were either an hour for breakfast and dinner or an hour and 30 for lunch. I just banked almost 4 hours right there, or 3.5.
That was the food.
It's fine. The breakfast, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Hard to screw it up. They do a huge thing of scrambled eggs, then potatoes, a meat, tortillas. It was fine. It was really good. The rest of it, you know, you'd have your hits and misses. But they're trying to get people to gain weight. Most people come in there way underweight because either they're only drinking and not eating or they're only using a drug and not eating. As I told Danny, I was kind of doing the worst of both. I wasn't drinking enough to not make me want to eat. So I was drinking enough to get a ton of empty calories from alcohol and then still eating like a normal person or a fat ass. Whereas, like, you know, there was a guy in there who he gained 25 pounds in 15 days and he looked normal.
Are you happy you did it?
I feel dead ass the best I've ever felt in my entire life in every single way.
Just like Zeke. And
there was a moment like 2.5 weeks in, not to get all weird on you, where I looked in the mirror and I was like, son of a bitch, I'm proud of myself.
Good for you.
Like, I actually looked in my eyes and was like, I got a little fire that I hadn't had in a while when I looked at myself.
You got hard looking at yourself?
Yeah, and I didn't even have to jack off. I just came.
Yeah, that's great. That's the goal for all of us.
Yeah, no, that's the level.
Love yourself that
That's
much.
the level of mind control I have now. Like, if I just think of everything that I've accomplished, I just come.
I wonder if you can make me do it, just looking at me.
That's the next step.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I terribly missed the show because this is what I love doing. I terribly missed my kids. I'm very glad I did it when they're young enough to think I was at work, especially given that we had just been in California. We had just been in Cleveland.
Yeah, in the end, they won't know.
I'll eventually tell them.
They'll know when I tell them. Yeah.
That's probably not that far off.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, the only conflict I had, Danny, was over the case of the missing vape, which was a very long day. But once I realized that the guy who I knew had taken it was not only bipolar, but was a full-on tweaker. Good dude. but very unstable. I'm like, I probably don't want to push this issue any further.
Let that one go.
I can get another one
Yep.
eventually. So you just kind of
See,
let
that's
that
good.
go.
That's,
I kept my head
that's
down.
wise decision making that you might not have had.
100%.
Were you a sloppy lush in the gutter? Or
There's no
whatever?
doubt. Or even before I did this, even if I wasn't drinking, I was a very reactionary, and I still have to work on that, but I didn't complain about anything to anybody as far as like the staff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, it's their right because their insurance is paying a lot of money. They wanted their voice heard every day. Every day. So anyways, I appreciate you guys. And
you know what? You really
I'm fired
should.
up, dude, because I got a lot.
We're the real heroes here for making it through all this without you.
Watched a lot of McAfee because I had to keep up with sports.
Well,
Okay.
Had a lot of because
See, when you were gone,
that's
you were
during
lucky,
lunch.
Jake.
so
That's
I
when
wanted to do a couple things before you got back, and I just, I just don't get things done. But Mortgage Mark,
Yeah, of course.
they gave us this table. This is
Wow.
a standing table.
That's a great table. You didn't switch.
Is it not plugged in? I don't know.
it's not.
It goes up, and so yes, I wanted to have that table over here.
But when I walked in,
So you walk in, I'm standing doing the show. I'm wearing a tank top.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even told him about the electrons
We
and
don't
the,
have time for
the
that.
grounding, and I'd be wearing moccasins. Like, I was going to totally change my life
okay,
just so that everything would be different.
grounding,
But
big topic at treatment,
grounding?
of course.
Okay. I can't wait.
Maybe you need to go to treatment.
I
Dan.
can't wait. I would love
He
to
would
go to
not last
treatment.
a day.
Sounds great.
He would.
He wouldn't last a day.
Oh, sounds like a challenge.
No, you would not. You would not last.
Sounds like a fantasy football league bet payoff.
Someone telling you what you have to do all the time and what you have to eat and how you got to eat it, when you got to eat it, where you got to be. There's no chance, dude.
You're right.
You were about to
So I'll stop drinking.
deep throat a banana
Yeah.
just in the middle.
No, you told me to stop, and I stopped. See, I'm compliant.
I think you could do it.
Yeah, a lot of McAfee. I got reports on that.
All right.
That's going to be interesting. By the way, last thing I'll say about the roommate, like on day 4 or 5, we were looking at the schedule, and it was like, when do we have to be there? And it's like, it's 15 minutes. I was like, that's fucking gay.
Mm-hmm.
And
And I was like, ooh. And I looked up at him like a,
Because he's
deer in the
he's
headlight.
gay.
Yeah. And he was like, I don't care. He's like, it's fucking gay.
So he agreed that it was gay.
Yeah. I heard him use the F slur a couple times. Which
Were you here with Noviello in studio?
no.
No,
Yeah.
You know Noviello's gay?
I do.
Like he's
I
got
appeared on his show. And
Yeah,
he
yeah,
mentioned his husband.
Anyway, he was in here saying he loved the old Gay Not Gay and wants us to bring it back.
Say less. If we got the
Right.
if we got the cosign from
Yeah.
Steve Noviello, then
Let's
I'd say
get your roommate in here.
we're good to
and,
go.
Like your roommate could weekly, we'll do that. It'll be like picking games with different guests, but we'll just have like a bunch of different gay panelists.
I love it.
We'll do the gay version of the Steve Noviello show with panelists because he's always got like 3 people in there with him.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just do, we get 3 gay people, and then we just talk about, is this gay?
Yeah.
If we did Gay Not Gay, we called it that, do we get sued by our former employer? Would they want to go to court to say, we own
that's
Gay
ours.
Not Gay? Like, do you want to do that?
I think
do
you
want
shoot. I think you shoot your shot, Dan.
Do you want to put that? I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting thought experiment.
Yeah, I don't know if you were. I was telling a story a minute ago about how going to court ruined my life, and I ended up
okay.
in a treatment facility a year later. So if we could,
Let's not blame that.
let's just think about trying to avoid court, if at all possible.
All right. You don't want to have any fun. Should we shift into sports?
Hell yeah, brother.
Okay. Because there was a game last night.
Yeah, I was just. My first question when I came in is, what do you plan on spending all those winnings on?
Well, hold on. For what? Wait.
5-0.
Oh, yeah. Okay, no, obviously I missed that. Almost got it. We got to 1-0.
When they were down 3 touchdowns in week 2, I was like, Jesus.
Oh,
dude,
I forgot you missed all of that. Jesus.
Well, I mean, I watched every
That's right.
game.
You left right after the Browns game.
I had to get tricky about how to watch it, sometimes including the middle of the night when it would replay. But I would at least see like the first 3 quarters of every game, and then I would have to clean up the end of it. But yeah, it's like they lose by 30.
But
they're down by 30 in the third or fourth, and all these games. I'm like, oh, Dan.
I just wanted to. Well, okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to mention that. So last night we did have a live stream. We have 6 more live streams to go. No, wait. Was that our first one? No, that was our second one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have 6 more,
one this
including
Sunday.
this coming Sunday that you'll be on. And do I have to not drink at the live stream now? Because like,
Hell no.
dude, I'm just housing those. You would have been so proud of me. I drank 3 whole beers last night.
That's a solid beer right there. You know
Lone
where
Star Lights.
You know where
Blake
that's
goes
from?
with the Lone Star Regular.
the Lone Star State.
That's right, the national beer of Texas. Anyway, but I actually didn't want to focus on Lone Star at this moment. But I was going to focus on one of the guests out there was Sean Kernan from 360 Wealth Management, and he's a new sponsor as well. He's an independent guy. He says, I own my own practice. No one is the boss of me except you. He means us. Or like the people that, will employ him. And the compliance people who could put me out of business on a whim if I joke about moosing or the Chisholm Trail. Okay?
Okay.
So he's a big fan. If you give him a call, 469-893-0067, or you could check out dallasfinancialplanner.net. You can see what he does. Check it out. 360 Wealth Management is what it's called. So you go to that website, and you take a look right there. Look at that. There's a picture of Sean. And, I guess probably that's his family or something. Or maybe just Sean ran into a bunch of people and said, would you take a picture of me? They manage money for people that don't want to worry about it. They help their clients make money, live as long in retirement as they do. And they can help you avoid making large and irreversible mistakes. They help you consider the impact of taxes, and they protect against the big risks to a successful financial plan. So if you are like you
Yeah.
or me,
Yeah, probably the vast majority.
yeah, like you need a guy like this, like Sean Kernan. So go to dallasfinancialplanner.net. dallasfinancialplanner.net. He's great. And check out that website. See a little picture. Look, there's Sean and some lady. It's probably his wife.
Yeah, I don't
Hope so.
I don't know.
I'm guessing so.
Or maybe would Sean just put his side piece up there? Like thinking, well, my wife will never go to my website.
That's a good point.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, it's like zig when they zag,
Yeah. If you want to see a picture of Sean and his wife or some lady, dallasfinancialplanner.net. He's great.
I really enjoyed the copy point of, you may have said this and I just missed it, but do you need a third party to tell your wife or husband you're spending too much money?
Oh, really?
That's an extremely relatable copy point.
Yeah, okay.
Listen, she may not listen to you, but I could probably get it across.
Okay, that's great. Now, Cowboys. What an affair.
I guess, man. Obviously, when you have a near walk-off.
As they say, win's a win.
I know, but this team, man, they're just so aggressively boring.
Such a boring game.
They're
such
so
an ugly
plain.
game.
Even every one of the wins. Well,
What a
no, I
beating
guess-
last night, too. That weather delay, man.
Yeah, I didn't finish it last night.
Well, I wouldn't have.
I know.
Were we not live stream? In fact, I thought about heading upstairs at halftime and just leaving the live stream to everybody else.
Yes, it was boring. Just like the Giants game. Cleveland, obviously they put it on Cleveland, but we now know that Cleveland has the worst quarterback in the NFL.
It's crazy.
And their coach is in disarray, or the team's in disarray, the relationship with the coach.
Yeah.
That's the only time they looked legit. They're apparently a pretty decidedly average team when healthy. And then when they're not, they're below average. And I think the Steelers are just okay. They were 3-1, but
yeah,
I don't know. I wasn't thinking they were anything special.
No, probably a bubble playoff team, and that's probably where the Cowboys actually are.
Yeah.
We had thoughts in our mind going into the season that they were more than that. Although you kind of look across the NFC, no one's really jumping out. I mean, well, Minnesota's obviously jumping out.
Yeah, but the problem is if you wanted to make a case for another one, that one is in your division and has been a damn sleeping giant. Maybe that's not even the way to put it for 20 years now, outside of a brief RG3 period.
Yeah, their defense is
freaking new owner. They got DQ, they got Cliff, and now they have a dude that I would be shocked if he's not like an all-pro at first or second team perennial by the end of 2 years from now. Maybe this year.
Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, I mean, you don't put those type of performances up and then just suddenly suck.
Well, don't you think of RG3 and his body type and wonder can he survive? I don't know. He looks small. He looks slight.
He does.
I'm interested to see how he does when Cliff gets another head coaching job and a different coordinator gets in there. So, because I think he's made perfectly for Cliff's system.
They've also helped
like
him out a little bit.
Kyler's
you know?
best year was with Cliff.
That's true. But they went and got Eckler. They've got McLaurin. Hell, they may go get Devontae Adams.
That would suck.
Yeah, it would suck. The division is getting better.
Don't you think the Cowboys should be after Devontae Adams?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I would, if they're talking about a second plus extra compensation, I would make that call, get it done today. You're not going to be able to run the ball like you did last night, but maybe 3 other times this year.
And it's not like they went nuts last night running the ball.
It just wasn't god-awful, you know? Basically, the one thing I want to say before we get into the game specifically is almost everything we talked about in the offseason is being laid bare for all to see. You can't start 2 rookie offensive linemen and just completely ignore running back. As we've joked about before, where, the whole running backs don't matter thing as a hyperbole. It's really just don't spend too much on it. And they were like, what if we did nothing?
Right. Running backs don't matter as much as the Cowboys had been treating them as mattering.
And they might matter more when you have 2 rookie offensive linemen. So if you're going to go with bring in no running back.
Well, I mean, we've been talking about Derrick Henry.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know. Obviously, you probably saw him against the Cowboys, but I don't know if you've seen him elsewhere, but he's been going nuts.
Yeah, I mean, the run yesterday to set up the field goal. The first couple weeks were a little figure-out-ish.
Mm-hmm.
But you knew they would.
Which seems like the whole NFL, it must be because of lack of preseason. But the first few weeks are figure-out-ish, like you say. And now we're kind of seeing where everybody is slotting in. And we're trying to figure out where do the Cowboys slot in. And I think they do slot in just like a average team.
Well, I think with the extra game and the extra playoff team, you don't need to be gung-ho ready for week 1. I think you need to be playing your best football towards the end. So
for sure, if they can say, but how are they going to do that if it's a war of attrition and they just keep, injuries are piling up and you're lucky that you have some of these injuries now, perhaps.
Well, yeah,
but it doesn't mean that DeMarcus Lawrence won't be injured again at the end of the year.
No, you're right. I'm saying for good teams like Baltimore, who should compete for a conference championship.
Yeah, they started out 0-2.
Yeah, they're fine now.
I mean, to be honest with you, the Bengals at 1-4 are not a bad team. They may be an average team, but they're not a bad team. They could easily reel off 4 straight against bad offenses and be 5-5.
Yeah, because they're about to hit their 4th place schedule, I think.
Yeah,
because they've already played the Chiefs and Ravens.
Yeah, and
Browns.
You look at what the Cowboys have coming up.
Yeah.
There's not a game here outside of Carolina where I could guarantee you that they'll be favored.
No, we asked the other day, which of the next 5 or 6 games are the Cowboys' favorite?
Well, I know the ESPN put their egghead nerds on it because I had to watch Get Up for 15 minutes every morning to stay up with sports, and they were sub 50% in every single one of them.
I guess the good thing about being in rehab and having to just watch ESPN is they do cover they treat the Cowboys as if they're located in Dallas
every day.
Yeah,
they lead with it every day.
So that keeps you in the know.
It's annoying
on what's going on with the Cowboys.
Yeah, for sure.
But when you say they're not going to face very many other teams, they're going to be able to run like that. That is implying the Cowboys had this great rushing night, and they did. They rushed for 109 yards.
Yeah,
Rico Dowdle. Even though we're watching him thinking, whoa, this is amazing. Rico Dowdle is doing this. He had 87 yards.
Yeah, it was 3.5 a carry
on 20 carries. So they didn't really have a great rushing night.
Well, part of the reason they don't have a great rushing night is because they have the worst running back in the league who gets regular carries on their team.
Would you say that's Zeke or
Rico?
No. The
Lipke?
No,
Deuce Vaughn?
Deuce. They were trying to force Deuce down our throats for a few weeks.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
Until yesterday, they're like, you know what? We're done. We're just
last week it was
he's not even active yesterday.
Last week it was CD. Right?
I'm going to try and make him the running back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Zeke is so washed, man. It's not even.
Did you like the play where they threw him a pass and he ducked?
That was pretty sweet. That was pretty sweet.
What were the announcers saying about that?
I don't recall.
Okay.
Do you?
Because we weren't able to.
It was like a swing pass, right?
No.
It was kind of a panic.
Right across the middle.
Oh, okay.
It looked like a little option thing. He was kind of crossing with another receiver, and he ducked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Oh my gosh, that could almost hit me in numbers. I got to get out of the way.
I think Zeke was thinking Dak was throwing that to Ferguson, and he needed to get out of his way.
Yeah, that's
But
usually
fell
what that
well
is.
short of his tight end.
That's usually what it is.
If you remember on that play, that was the one where they rushed to the line. To try to save some time. Maybe they thought that the previous play was going to be reviewed,
yes,
or to catch them off guard. And Zeke ran in at the last minute and had no idea what was going on and had to go up to Dak and talk to him. And that's what happened. That was the play. They rushed to execute that play, and it completely fell apart.
Yeah. They did that twice.
They did.
One of them was the intentional grounding.
Yep.
Yeah. Where it's like 3rd and 1, and they go, hurry up. Maybe they thought there was a review, I guess. But on the replay, it looked like they had the catch, and then he just airmailed one and got an intentional grounding. So, yeah, that's cool.
Or you're trying to catch them, not being able to sub, but then, I mean, my goodness, you just throw it away, you get 4th and 1, you probably go for it. Intentional grounding is the worst that could happen.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to your point, if you wanted this genius move of not letting them sub and the best you could do is throw it to a guy in the stands, then I'm not sure that not having a sub was that important.
Right.
No,
I'd rather just call a good play.
Well, Dowdle took himself out of the game, and Zeke ran in. Number one, they were hurrying up. Dowdle pointed to himself and exited the game for I don't know why. Maybe he was tired from the previous play. Mm-hmm. Zeke's running in and has no idea what's going on, and that's when that play went down.
Yeah, they're a boring, average team, and then without.
Like, that's what the Steelers are.
Yeah.
The Steelers are a boring, grinded-out, average team who kind of figures enough things out to barely be over 500 or 500 every year and then get bounced in the playoffs.
That's what it feels like to be the majority of NFL teams, man.
That's what you're looking at with the Cowboys right now.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess it is Justin Fields, and he had a couple of pretty poor throws last night. A couple solid ones. But I feel like with him, they do at least have some big play potential. And
with Justin Fields?
Yeah.
Just his legs?
His legs, he gets outside the pocket. And by the way, we were talking Jaden Daniels. It's pretty obvious that every team with a quarterback that runs knows that when they really need it, they can do it twice in a row and get a first down, right? I mean, that was even Danny Dimes, I feel like.
Yeah, he had a great game yesterday.
Yeah, but I just mean Jaden Daniels is going to be he feels like baby Lamar to me, but a little bit smaller. And the Cowboys are clearly incapable of stopping that. So the Steelers' offense, I would still take Dallas's, but they seem vaguely more exciting. Dallas is throwing it to freaking Bruce Spann or whatever for 4 or 5 yards. Spann Ford is their like bread and butter. Just boring, The whole offense is bland. You look at all these other teams and like their motion rates. And I wrote down after week 1, like, is Mike Shanahan the grandfather of all modern NFL offense? Because all those guys came through his system,
Mm-hmm.
You're all of them now. And the Cowboys just don't look anything like that. Lack of motion. They don't have a second wide receiver, although Turpin might be an upgrade over Cooks. with Cooks being out, but neither one of them are.
That's tough, yeah.
Look around the league and
Turpin's
find
so tiny.
Look around the league and find other wide receiver twos, and think about where the Cowboys rank. Look at the Texans, who they're about to see.
Nico Collins is there too. The Bengals, T. Higgins.
Tank Dell is their 3.
Yeah.
Nico Collins might be their 1. But they have a lot of deficiencies, and their quarterback is good, but not good enough to do it on his own. And when they go 9-8 or 8-9, they will blame everything on him. Despite 2 rookie offensive linemen, despite not signing a running back.
Well, that's what you get when you're the highest paid quarterback in NFL history.
You're going to have to elevate these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to make those around you better. And I guess that's the trade-off, if you did want to actually give some kind of a hometown discount, where that's not on Dak. It's not on Dak to do that. But, I mean, you do talk about Tom Brady, and he was never the highest-paid quarterback in the NFL. In fact, he was always millions under that, per year.
It's a bit of an anomaly, but because nobody else really has done that.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean.
But and you know why Dak doesn't do it is because he doesn't trust Jerry and Steven. And he shouldn't. Because they lie to the players. They lie to all the players about, we only have so much we can spend. We, even Jerry saying after
Derrick Henry,
the Baltimore game that we couldn't have afforded Derrick Henry. Well, yeah, you could have had you signed Dak and CD to the contracts that you ended up signing them for. That's what they were asking for back then. So you could have signed them in the spring. You would have moved money around, and you would have had a lot more cap room. But he's right in the sense that they couldn't sign Derrick Henry at that time because they didn't have these other deals done, and Dak was going to count, $50 million towards the cap this year. Now he doesn't.
Yeah, no, the whole thing was sequenced as poorly as some of their play calling sequences are. Where you're like, what if you did that first?
Yeah.
Then wouldn't that have made the later thing easier?
And go back to when Dak was drafted, he was clearly not their first or second choice. And then every time
keep going.
Every time he's you come up for negotiations, it's been pulling teeth. So why the hell should he help the Cowboys?
Yeah, they made that trade for Trey Lance. Yeah. I firmly believe they've made that trade partly with the thought of maybe this guy will just take over for Dak and we're going to let Dak walk. And at the very worst, we're at least going to show Dak that we're not all on board with him and you might want to sign. And none of it worked. And now he's worthless. The fact that he can't beat out Cooper Rush in 2 years makes his trade value 0. Right. Everybody's saying, Miami, you should trade him to Miami because Tua and they got no backups. Why would Miami give you anything?
Yeah.
You know that he'll get cut at the end of this year. Why would they give anything?
See, that's why
Trey Lance.
And this never works out. I don't know why, other than I grew up a huge Cordell Stewart fan. But I can sell myself every season on about a little sub package for the running quarterback.
That's
Trey
I've
Lance
heard that
inside the 10,
That makes a lot of sense.
Nobody ever actually does it, or they do it in such a way that they never actually commit to it. They do it 3 times a year.
But you saw him in training camp, right?
That's what I'm saying.
He made some of the most exciting plays they had.
In preseason, in games, training camp. And
that's what I mean, preseason.
Yeah, but even in training camp, there were a couple plays he would make, and you're like, that's the fastest guy on the team.
Yeah.
I guess Taysom Hill's the only other
Taysom Hill is.
But he has other value.
He plays regular snaps.
Right.
That's the thing. And many Saints fans are tired of the Taysom Hill.
Suit up Deuce Vaughn for a few weeks. You could suit up Trey Lance.
Especially if you're going to give up a pick and guarantee his salary for the full year. Disaster. There's no way that Rico Dowdle and
suit him up as the backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Let him return kicks.
Why not?
Let him return. Yeah.
I mean, he would do it, but in a perfect world.
A little throwback or something. Spice this thing up.
Yeah, and then you've got, obviously, no Parsons, no no Lawrence. Then you lose Nealand. And then, even the first 4 weeks, it's not like they were getting a ton of pressure.
Mm-mm.
They were getting just absolutely swallowed by other offensive lines.
Well, they were losing.
Yeah, it's true, too, yeah. And that is the biggest thing. And I know Blake's pointed that out forever, is that if they can't get a lead, the whole thing gets out of whack. Because now you can't go, NASCAR mode and put 5 pass rushers out there. It's really interesting how much the Cowboys represent the change in the – I don't think the word really is circular. I think it's more like evolution of the NFL. And we'd seen this coming. Everybody started equipping their defenses to play essentially spread offenses. And I remember watching a game a few years ago. I think it was Arkansas A&M at the Death Star. And A&M was under Kevin Sumlin. And they were playing all these SEC teams that ran the spread. Alabama wasn't there yet. And then Arkansas still ran the ball, as one of the few SEC teams did. The Aggies could do nothing about it because they had geared their offense to have 5-6 defensive backs on the field and have to cover slot receivers. And then Arkansas would line up with 2 tight ends or 1 tight end and a fullback and just hammer the shit out of them. And it's like the guy trying to tackle him weighs 200 pounds instead of 240. And you see that in the NFL now, is that everybody's like, we got to rush the passer and defend the pass.
And play 2 safeties back.
Play 2 safeties, give nothing up.
So the Cowboys are always kind of lagging behind what's going on?
Of course.
Newsflash. Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, because they have to catch up to it and realize
on both sides of the ball. Now as the NFL is like, maybe we could try to get ahead of this, and
by the time they reconfigure everything, the NFL will have gone the other way.
Yeah, now everyone is motion and wide zone runs, and the Cowboys are still trying to play with 2 tight ends, which was a decade ago. So yeah, behind the 8 ball again.
Yeah, it sucks. But who knows? I mean, maybe they get healthy, and like Dan said, the NFC is not exactly a juggernaut, top-heavy situation right now. So,
no, I still think they'll make the playoffs. And, yeah, you've got other teams have problems too. That doesn't make, and I've long liked to say I like to look at other people with problems to make me feel better about my own situation.
Hoping I did a little bit of that for you today.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm not in rehab, honey.
He's been on cloud 9 for
my
a
wife's
month.
complaining to me about this or that. I'm like, I could be in rehab. What would you think if that was the case?
Yeah, but then you'd be gone for 4 weeks. She might like that.
No, she likes him. It's him that would want to. Oh, wow. Look at that.
Yeah. William Pace.
Have you guys been vibing lately?
No.
That was a random?
He's it'd be a 45-minute call if I was to answer that call.
Yes, other teams are also.
Oh, yeah. San Francisco lost yesterday.
They have an
They're now
excuse.
2-3. They do have some pretty hardcore injuries.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit more about Dak, though. Just because, again, his numbers look good and he won the game. So in the end, that's what you want. Quarterbacks always get the wins or losses. And he did pass for 352 yards in bad weather conditions. So you're like, oh, okay. But he did not have a good game.
No.
Like, kind of had a terrible game. What was the situation with CeeDee Lamb and him? Was it his second interception or his first one?
The first one, I believe.
And then CD was
It was in
kinda
the
barking at him coming off the field.
left
Like he
corner
threw
of the
it
end zone.
That was arguably the worst interception of his career.
double cover. Like, I don't know what he was thinking. He obviously, they showed the replay. He dropped back and stared him down.
No pressure.
No pressure. He knew exactly where he was going to throw. And why would he throw over there? It was so covered.
And weren't they on the 15?
Yeah, they're in the red zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, how many red zone problems? I mean, they got so lucky at the end there. I'll tell you what, everybody in the den, we were so dying to not have overtime because it was already 90 minutes delayed.
Oh, yeah.
And, people have got a long drive home, and it's
you guys are heroes. Purple Heart for that one.
after midnight. And I haven't seen after midnight in the longest time. And I'm 3 beers deep.
Oh, yeah.
3 beers and a Lucy.
Blackout.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I popped a few of those Lucy's in.
Yeah, it was 2nd and 5, the 15, that pick.
Wait, real quick. Talk about lucky. Dak on that 1st and goal run on the last drive.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to stretch the ball out.
Right.
And
At first,
he got
we were crediting him
really
for not
lucky
doing it.
Yeah, that he did not fumble that into the end zone.
He was going to do a Derek Carr. Was it Derek Carr a few years ago did that against the Cowboys?
Yeah, Jeff Heath.
Yeah. Like trying to reach over the goal line and end up fumbling it through the end zone, and then you give them the ball and all that.
Yeah,
that almost happened.
He had a pretty uneven night. The strip sack fumble, obviously it's counted as a Dak turnover, but also they were off and on getting freaking manhandled by the Steelers front. I mean,
Terrence Steele can't play.
We might have gotten in over our skis on our boy Terrence Steele's a plus starter because it's a crazy story. He didn't play that much. It wasn't on anybody's draft board. Goes undrafted, didn't have a great combine, or maybe it was Senior Bowl or something. It's like, man, Texas Tech made good. And then they started him right away, and we're like, you sure about that? And he did okay, and he got a contract, but now it's not looking great.
Yeah, we noticed before the game they'll throw the PFF grades up.
Yeah.
And it's all just 30 out of 36, 70 out of 100.
And then Zach Martin.
Yeah, Zach Martin's good. There's one other. Maybe Ferguson is good, but outside of that, Guyton, not good.
He had a tough night, which ultimately means he left the game, right?
Yeah, which I think you nailed. Tyler Smith, made them think that they are better at drafting offensive linemen than they are.
They've been pretty good at it. But
Tyler Smith was
you're still going to have
play
your
right
misses.
away.
Yeah.
And so then they thought, okay, well, we'll just draft 2 offensive linemen and start them right away because we're really good at this.
And the other thing, too, is which one was it? Oh, yeah, they were saved by a hold. It was right before the end of the third quarter. And maybe the reason you're holding the ball is because there was a hold. So sometimes it's frustrating if you just look at the quarterback and you're like, why didn't you get rid of the ball? And they go holding. You're like, maybe that was why.
Oh, when Dak fell down.
But on 3rd and 7 from the 38, yeah, it's like you're already in Aubrey's range. So do we really need to take a sack here? Mm-hmm. Now, they got saved by it, and he added the nice find to Dowdle to score on that drive. But I feel like he is in the mindset that he has to kind of hero ball out.
Yeah.
And he might be right. The problem is that's just a very risk-reward, high-variance type way to approach offense,
Especially when your weapons are as limited as his are.
Yeah. God, man, if they just – that's why I'm ready to – as Charlie would say, cut the brakes, wild card bitches, just go get Devontae Adams and become a team that throws the ball 50 times a game every game.
Agree.
Just do it.
Yes.
Jerry's itching to do it. People are like, oh, this team, they are still talking about him, but they're boring. And there's a lot of other NFL teams that are getting pretty excited right now, in big markets no less. If they would just do it, scratch the itch, give them a second, screw it. McCarthy's probably gone if they don't make the playoffs or progress anyways. You'll figure out the cap number because you're going to restructure Dak next year anyways. You're going to have to with him and CD just to keep Parsons. So just go fuck it mode. You know what? That's what they call it. That's what they call it in treatment. You need to be very aware of fuck it mode. No, really? No. I'm saying it's fuck it mode time. They got to do it.
It's funny you're saying all this after a win.
Yeah, but you do the Giants game and then this. You look at it, you're just like, this is not the same team.
Mm-mm. You're not beating Detroit with that last night.
Detroit coming off a bye. I don't like the chances.
Real quick, we didn't mention this, but some people were thinking CD was yelling at Dak on the sideline after the interception.
I have the audio. I mean, obviously not the audio of CD, but them trying to talk about it.
Well, lip readers, they figured out what he was saying.
Jump ball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was not a blow up on the sideline at all.
There's a couple. I think it's a little open to interpretation, and I agree that he's saying jump ball 4, jump ball, I got you. That's what it really looks like. Other people have been saying they ran it by another lip reader that said it could be something that was a little less, benign. It's in that article that I sent you. Let me pull it up.
The one that I
exactly
saw
what
was
it was said, or they thought he
subpar tonight.
Yeah, subpar tonight.
Which, it
doesn't look like he's saying that.
To me, when you have that in your head, just sort of like
I don't think that sounds like something CeeDee Lamb would say.
That's what I was going to say.
I'm sorry.
No, yeah, is that if you match it up with his mouth, you're like, oh, I could see that. And then I think about hearing CeeDee Lamb talk before, and I just don't think he's saying that. Subpar tonight. How do you do?
Maybe mid, bro.
Yeah.
Let's hear what Collinsworth said about it.
Okay, yeah.
You got it pulled up.
There's a couple funny parts of this here.
So the last time out there, Dallas had the interception, right? With Dak Prescott in the direction of CeeDee Lamb.
Hard to explain. Just thrown into coverage and something's wrong. CeeDee Lamb, at the end of that, I'll let you read your own lips. At Dak. Dak doesn't react at all. Doesn't look good.
Not a bit. Not a bit.
Read your own lips is obviously a weird misspeak.
Maybe read CD's lips for yourself.
Read his lips for yourself.
Yeah, not read your own lips.
And then, so the jump ball 4 thing, you would think that Dak would look up at him, kind of shake, and he would give him the fist. He'd fist him, little fist bump.
He was looking at his iPad.
Yeah.
And the camera stayed on him, and he did nod his head at the end of it.
Yeah.
Like, I hear you, man. He didn't make eye contact, but, he's multitasking too.
And, yeah, I mean, I was gone during the CD mini meltdown that we had in week, was it 2 or 3?
Pouting CD, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you know what happened next game?
They gave him the ball like 20 times.
We so predicted it, man. I mean,
the TO special.
100%.
Yeah, that's where we should be putting our gambling money, like on CD
over-unders.
20 targets.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be CD. I mean, if you did this throughout the year and you just did whatever the media
thing blows up on a Tuesday.
Yeah, go for it.
By Sunday, we're going to take care of it, and we will address what the media has talked about. I wanted to get into more game audio if we have it, and game audio today is going to be brought to us by Ownwell.
Ooh.
That is the place that can get you the reduction on property taxes. It is October, and I'll bet, I don't know if you've seen it yet, Jake, since you've got back, but you're back now. Mm-hmm. Now you got to deal with stuff like in the real world.
Like property tax bills.
That's right. And every time you open one of those, you're like, no way. There's no way. And then they're like, yeah, way. You just pay it because it's the government. I mean, I guess you could fight it on a bigger level and, write your congressman and all that kind of stuff. But
hey, that sounds fun.
Well, that's going to take a long time. You know it's going to take you like 5 minutes? Going to ownwell.com, and you sign up. And what you do is they'll work on reducing your property taxes, and they will only get paid if they get you money back. So if they look into it and they can't get you your property tax reduced, you pay them nothing except that 5 minutes that you spent.
Yeah, nothing to lose there.
But if you give them if they get you $1,000 back, they take a very small percentage. In fact, it's the smallest on the market. There are other guys who say they do this, but Ownwell will do it right, and they'll take the smallest amount on the market.
25%.
Yeah.
And I spent the time. I wrote out a handwritten letter. I did the whole thing trying to fight my property taxes. Didn't work. But in 5 minutes, Ownwell saved me a little chunk of change.
That means you are part of the 86% of customers that receive a reduction.
I was.
In Dallas alone, average savings of $420.
Whoa. Ownwell.com. They have like a special website just for us. Ownwell.com/partners/thedumbzone. And we'll put that up on our promo code page as well.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if I did that yet on dumbzone.com, but ownwell.com/partners/thedumbzone.
And I see, what these government agencies are trying to do. It's October. You want to watch ball on the weekend. Arguably the best month in the calendar.
So you're just going to
what if we just screw them up during that?
Well, you
might not.
You're going to just not even pay attention. I'll just
we'll hit them while they're looking the other way.
Yeah. Can't trust
Let
the
Ownwell
government.
handle it. You can trust them.
Yeah, ownwell.com. You know what? Actually, before more audio, did you see the last thing of the game?
I guess
when
not.
the Cowboys recovered, was it Jordan Lewis that kind of recovered the?
Yeah.
They were doing the Stanford play, the pitching, and all that kind of stuff. Was it George Pickens?
Yeah.
So Jordan Lewis recovers it. He's celebrating. He goes and kind of puts his chest and then his face right into George Pickens' face, like taunting.
Yeah.
If that was done during the course of play, he would have been flagged for taunting. So George Pickens thought, well, I'll do something that could be flagged if it was done during the course of play. He just reached up, grabbed his face mask, and yanked him down. And then his momentum, Jordan Lewis's momentum, he was running, and he just fell right.
It was really funny.
It is very funny, but it's funny also just to see internet react to that.
Yeah, and then there was, did you see Jordan Lewis in the tunnel?
Yeah, they had a lot of tunnel shots.
Yeah.
What was he doing there? just yelling.
Talking trash on Pickens.
Oh, that's not playing through here, is it? I don't know why that's not playing.
Change your output.
Yeah, it's okay. The Pittsburgh need a new receiver. George Pickens weak.
Yeah, George Pickens weak.
And I believe, if we were to rank our favorite Cowboys right now, after Obbs, you don't got to go too far to get to J. Lou.
I love Jordan Lewis, man.
Yeah, he's our guy.
Overshone's beasting too.
Yeah, that's one of the few bright spots they have right now. Is it after the medical redshirt year? That guy looks like he did in college, where he was a kind of a player without position, but he was a badass at Texas.
He looks like he wants to be involved.
Yeah.
Like he's one of the few guys when I watch the Cowboys.
That's a good way to put it.
It looks like he really likes being there.
He's a nice guy, too. He was very kind to us. Remember training camp?
I do. He was awesome.
We were going to play this last week, but he made a couple of really good tackles against the Giants, and he was like, man, I went up against Bijan Robinson every day in practice. I got this. I thought, yeah, that's true. That's one of the best running backs every day at Texas.
He does have good tackling fundamentals.
He's a linebacker.
Pretty rare.
There's not that many of them left. I mean, he's a little smaller than maybe your linebacker of 15 years ago, but he truly plays like a linebacker, not a safety playing linebacker or an edge they make play linebacker. Let's see. Other audio.
You want to do it now or you want to do it after a break? You pick.
How about we do it after a break?
Okay, cool. Yeah, so if you're watching on YouTube, we'll break for a few minutes here. And if you're listening later, then you're probably going to hear us back here in 30 seconds or so.
The Dumb Zone. We're high atop.
You're listening to The Dumb Zone.
Man, what a sensitive guy Rob is.
You can't get on Rob.
Can't have a little fun. I'm sorry, Rob.
People are working on minimal sleep after last night, so
That's true.
expect testes or testiness.
Rob is like...
That's what I say right before. I'm like, hey, expect some testes. Like, what?
What
does that mean?
Rob is like the MVP of every Sunday night because he gets there so early and then he's...
That's your warm-up sex talk? Expect testes. What? That's supposed to turn me on? Weirdo.
Hey, I made you guys a song.
You made us a song?
While you were in rehab?
In the car on the way over here today.
All right.
The car, by the way, which was provided by DFW Elite Rides. I don't even think Dan knows this song, but Danny does. So it was in my head because I was thinking about Rob and his drops over there.
Uh-huh.
Little Amy Winehouse.
They tried to make me go to rehab. I said,
Okay.
yes, I've been black, but when I come back,
Okay. There's more, but really it's the beginning.
they tried to make me go to rehab. I said,
Okay.
yes, I've been black.
Anyways.
Hey, let me tell you quickly before we do audio about Prosper Ford. It's in Prosper. You know Chaz Gilmore. You know
I know
very
Chaz
well.
Gilmore.
You've bought a vehicle from Chaz Gilmore.
I have. I was so happy to get back to it.
I bought 4 from from Chaz over the years. But Prosper Ford is their newest and, you might say bestest, building. Built Ford proud. Gorgeous showroom, state-of-the-art service department. It is in Prosper, 380 and the Tollway. It's also at prosperford.com. Chaz, I don't know. This might not be important to you. Maybe you just want us to save every cent, which I think you will at Prosper Ford as well. I think they'll match or beat any deal out there. But he's just a good dude. Ask people who don't know anything about you or your association with Chaz that you know him from here, and just ask what do they think about Chaz Gilmore. He's awesome, and we like to work with good dudes. We like to work with good people. He's wonderful to work with all these years, and you can go check out prosperford.com. It's beautiful. Big savings. Save big on your next car. Fair trade-in value. Fast trade-in value as well. So check out Prosper Ford and prosperford.com.
Man, you know how there's a term in sociology for this, I'm pretty sure, or psychology rather, where like when your girlfriend would break up with you in high school and then you would see her make, model, and color of car everywhere.
Yeah.
That's how I felt kind of about my my Chaz Gilmore Ford Explorer.
Then you start noticing,
Well,
like you notice the Prosper Ford or the Grapevine Ford tags on the.
Well, yeah, and I think for me also the white Explorer is almost like the fleet vehicle of the day. So if you have
DFW
of like a city water department or a treatment facility, so every car there, I'm like, my car. Maybe I'm like, no,
wasn't your car.
it was not my car. It's not my car.
Audio? Is that what we're doing now?
Yes,
have
I
the
do.
audio.
Yeah, I got a little bit more for you here. This one, Danny was on most of this, but
How'd you guys like Collinsworth? And
I thought he was clean, man.
good?
yeah,
I thought him and Tirico were actually pretty clean. I felt I listened with a very scrutinous ear, and I was just kind of like, man, am I missing stuff?
I'll tell you
Because
this.
he wasn't that bad.
I'll tell you this. He and Al had more fun.
Yeah, he's not bad. I like Collinsworth a lot. This guy, I love him. He's announcing. He's
a
doing
guy.
the slide in. He used to do
guy.
the slide in. He doesn't do it anymore because he doesn't respect his new partner. He's like, who's this clown? I've been here.
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
Like Tirico is obviously a venerable broadcaster, but Al and him would kind of dick around a lot more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tirico has to play it straight because, I mean, he didn't do this to me last night.
He's a haircut.
I was getting in my car during the game at halftime to go pick up some milk, and I saw Mike Tirico on my street. He did not jump in my car and try to finger me.
Oh, that's good because he
Yeah.
did that to someone else.
He did. He did at an ESPN party, so he's got to play it safe now. You know, little room for error when you're the jump in the car and try to finger somebody guy. It's not as fun as it was with Al, and it sucks so bad too because Al and Herbie remained the worst crew in America. It's such a beating. It's such a beating, and it's so obvious that I'm sitting here watching game day at, you know, hell, this week they went live from Berkeley at what, 6 a.m. for game day? Then he's got to call a game, and then I have to expect to believe that he's prepared for an NFL game on Thursday. It's
He's
garbage.
clearly not. Did you see him do the Cowboy game?
Yeah.
We covered that
We
where he
sweet-talked that one
referred to
out.
half of their players by their numbers.
Yeah.
Hey, how about okay, you only saw the Cleveland game with us.
Mm-hmm.
Brady's actually pretty good.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he got good.
Begrudgingly. I
By
have to
week
admit.
3, he's as good as anybody at that job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because I root for, you know, of course he's not going to fail. He's a great baseball player.
Right, he's hot.
Yeah.
He's perfect at everything.
But this is kind of a funny Collinsworth moment. They're trying this is what I would call trying to have chemistry.
You explain that C-gap deal there with TJ over there?
Yeah. So the C gap is just this gap right here. There's nobody there, right? Here and here. And a lot of times people go, well, of course I'm going to be able to run in that gap. Well, then TJ Watt, in this particular case, in this play, he loops down inside. He has it covered. So there you go. C gap. You love it?
C and TJ.
That's it. A lot of letters.
Well, this is the hometown of the late, great Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers' neighborhood.
That's
right?
it.
So, you know, just simple there. C and TJ. We got it.
Yeah.
Makes a ton of sense.
There's a lot of things in football that are so simple you can't believe it.
You'd be like A, B, C.
Cover 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we got it.
So the Stretch Armstrong play that Mike fingered a lady in a car forcibly Tirico is trying to make is that because they're talking about TJ Watt, T and J are letters, and they're talking about the C gap.
C is also a letter.
Last time I checked. Mm-hmm. That he's going to somehow work in that Mr. Rogers is from Pittsburgh. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
No, I'm still not getting it even when
It's
you
an
explain
educational
it like
show
because there
where they
were
would
letters
teach you
involved.
letters and they would teach you numbers on Mr. Rogers' neighborhood in addition to how to be a kind person.
Which is not even what Mr. Rogers was really about.
No,
that.
but
Yeah, that was more Sesame Street, the teaching letters
Yes.
and everything. But the whole. It sounded like Collinsworth. You know
Okay.
what? I'm going to try and support my partner here.
that's why I want to wind
But-
this back a little bit because the way I hear it, the second he brings up Mr. Rogers, Collinsworth goes, "What?"
Yeah, he says, "What's that?"
In this play, He loops down inside. He has it covered. So there you go. C-gap. You love it?
C and TJ.
That's it. A lot of letters.
Well, this is the hometown of the late, great Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers' neighborhood.
What's that?
Right? So,
What's that?
What's that? What the fuck are you talking about?
What? I'm just,
And it's funny
I
because
just explained the C gap to you.
but for time purposes, when he brings up the Mr. Rogers point, an entire play happened. Okay.
Yeah.
So a play happened,
Yep.
and Tirico revisits it like 45 seconds
Yeah.
later. That's why Collinsworth goes, "What's that?"
He
we
had
were
Mr.
done.
He had Mr. Rogers
With
written
fun
down on
with
a
letters.
Mr. Rogers on a post-it note that was next to his call sheet or his spotting board, whatever. He's like, "This might be the best shot I get." We're talking letters. I've got to bring up Fred Rogers now.
Jeez.
Yeah, this Danny cut this part down of just Collinsworth disinterested.
Can you explain that C-gap deal there with TJ over there?
Yeah. So
He didn't want to.
Yeah.
A little quick Tomlin here
So-
from halftime. By the way, is he complete
So-
Teflon?
Mike Tomlin?
Like, he kind of lived through the closest he's come to the hot seat a couple years ago, right?
Everybody
you
loves
just,
him.
You just keep kind of being at least average, no matter what they put around you. Yeah, I like Tomlin. I don't know that I'd want him coaching the Cowboys.
What quarterback did they draft that failed? Was it just Rudolph?
Pickett.
Kenny Pickett. That's right. Tiny
Yeah,
hand
small
Kenny Pickett.
hands.
Yeah. That was the first round, right?
First or second, but Pittsburgh kid.
Yeah, that's right. You know, didn't play in his bowl game.
Mm.
I'm not saying, but I'm saying. Huh?
He also
Guy cared
was,
about ball, then
Yeah.
he was also the one that got the fake slide outlawed.
that was pretty badass.
He pulled it off perfectly.
Fake slide was a seminal moment of that college football season. Here's Tomlin at halftime with kind of a
Real
weird.
quick, Pickett was the first quarterback off the board.
There you go.
I remember him being like a big deal, and then everybody came out and they're like, his hands. Tomlin has a bit of a dirty sound here.
Mike, another slow start on offense. How do you get it going in the second half?
You know, we got to stop kicking our own butt. No disrespect to the Cowboys, but one of those drives got stalled by, 2 pre-snap penalties. We had a fumble that killed us in terms of field positioning in another series. And so if we stop kicking our own butt, we can start focusing on theirs.
We need to focus on the Cowboys' butt.
I think it would have been better to say we can start kicking theirs.
Yeah.
You wouldn't like him here?
I don't know.
Because he's boring?
Yeah, he's just. I think he wants to grind it out.
Yeah, but we were talking about this.
I want young offensive innovator. I want somebody that's going to see what they got here and what can I do with it. I want someone to see Trey Lance and go, okay, what could I do with this? Can I do something? I've got a talent. How can I work that in?
Yeah, but he might say, Trey Lance, you suck. You're off the team.
But
Maybe,
here's the
but-
thing. A team that's coached by Mike Tomlin, which is why he could never coach here, would never trade a pick and $5 million for Trey Lance. That would never happen. So that's part of it, too. You can't talk about situations where the Cowboys would have a coach who could speak up because it would never happen. By the way, I will tell you, people will tell you, like, hey, if you share your story about whatever you're going through, maybe it can help somebody else. And I've always been kind of like, I don't know. That seems weird.
Mm-hmm.
But I did think about, hey, I can do this every time I saw Mike McDaniel on the sideline. So I'm like, hey, this guy did it. 'Cause I think Thomas Dimitroff made him because they were finding – he was living at the facility and they were finding his bottles everywhere. I'm like, hey, Mike McDaniel. He can do it.
I never found one of your bottles.
Here, that's right.
I cleaned them all out.
Thank you, bud.
Yep.
Tirico loved this story.
But did you know Western PA has also given us some great coaches like Ditka? Look at all the wins from Marvin Lewis, Bill Cower, who did it in these parts, Mike McCarthy, and then Chuck Knox and Marty Schottenheimer among the coaches from this Western Pennsylvania area.
Yeah, and a lot of different ethnic neighborhoods, and it created this naturally competitive environment. And I think that's what you saw out of all those quarterbacks and those coaches. You're used to just going out and going, all right, let's go to work here.
I'm going to read between the lines here and say that people from Western Pennsylvania got really good at football and coaching because they were so racist they couldn't handle losing to a.
So you got the Mexican part. They hate the black part.
I am not about to give up 150 on the ground to the Jewish community.
That created the.
I will work day and
environment.
night for a scheme to keep these drunk Irish kids from running all over my boys, the Protestants or the Catholics. Yeah.
Sounds to me like Tirico was so excited about that package focusing on Western Pennsylvanian players and coaches and handed it off to Collinsworth for comment, who really didn't give a shit.
No, he didn't.
A lot of ethnic neighborhoods, and you just got to go to work.
Here's a place in the country where it's pretty racist, and I'll be the last thing I do is lose to a bunch of black kids. We created football here in the white north.
Right.
Here's orgasmic Tirico.
All those black and gold uniforms. Landon Roberts over there as well. Let's see.
I think it's a Landon Roberts who's going to take a running start.
Oh, what a play.
And just time it perfectly.
Oh, wow.
That's unbelievable. The odds of actually making contact on that play, flying through the air, is so remote.
Look where he started, Chris.
We saw this a little bit in practice. This guy gets put in on the goal line to run and dive kamikaze style and hit that ball on the butt.
That's all over a replay.
It was pretty awesome.
Pretty good play.
But
Pretty
he went
good play.
on. He starts sounding like Norm.
Well, it sounds like. So typically, you'll hear color guys that will make the guttural consonant sounds while the play-by-play dude's describing what's the action is. The roles were reversed there, and you got Collinsworth breaking down this entire replay, and Tirico has nothing to offer but sex sounds.
Here's a little bit of it again.
All those black and gold uniforms. Landon Roberts over there as well. Let's see.
I think it's a Landon Roberts who's going to take a running start.
Oh, what a play.
And just time it perfectly.
Tirico, can you get your hand out of my crotch, please? I'm trying to drive away.
Actually making contact on that.
That's
Mike.
the one right there. That's like the shake. That's like he's shaking it off.
Yeah.
He's like,
that was really good.
Thank you, Rob. Here's a quick montage Danny made. We've talked about this before, but when you really look out for it, Danny pinpointed from CC.
So in the first half, opportunity right here. You're going to see a guy.
Oh, a guy.
See a guy. Space in behind the defense. I mean, it is impossible to watch this team on tape and not look at number 13. He is just that guy. He's the TJ Watt of this defense already. Overshown as one of those guys that just looks like lightning out on the field. Give him some credit. There's some guys on the back end. Donovan Wilson.
He loves the guys.
Loves guys.
He loves resetting the fact that we're watching football players and they all have cocks.
That's right. In my America.
They're dudes. They're guys.
That's right. Do you guys know who was on at halftime? You probably saw this, right? Even if you weren't watching, listen to the audio.
Bow wow,
Snoop?
wow, yippee yo,
The
yippee
president of NBC Universal, Calvin Snoop Dogg
He was
Broadus.
on a lot in the pregame running around.
Well, if you recall, he basically carried Olympic coverage to the bill of, I think we heard $500,000 a day.
Yeah, doggy dog world.
Was it $500,000 a day or 50,000 a day? Last night we were saying 50,000.
No, dude, I'm pretty sure. Let's get this right because
that makes more
is not
sense.
Crazy.
Yeah. That's for a whole day for Snoop.
Yeah.
Snoop ain't getting out of bed for $50,000, bro. No way.
He made overall $9 million.
God almighty.
Sweet.
And paid
D-O-double-G is in the house.
Paid no expenses. And he's also now, maybe he's been on it before, but they're pimping him pretty hard in the promos for The Voice.
This is the first season that he's
been
judged.
on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the promos are built around him and Michael Bublé.
They're the two new additions.
Michael Bublé's on the. Oh, can I have my own Kim spin now? For rehab?
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah. I was thinking about.
Put him on there.
I was thinking about it a lot when I was there.
Jake as a Kim spin.
You know that podcast? Yeah, I went to rehab for a month.
Yeah.
For
I
booze.
I want that one. Do you remember my Michael Bublé note?
No.
It's great.
When he was All-Star game, the NHL All-Star game was in whatever Canadian town he's from, but I don't remember which one. And he was supposed to do some sort of press conference with someone from the NHL. And I think he was performing also. And he got up there and was like, I got to be honest, my friend told me I was microdosing, and I took way too many mushrooms before this press conference.
He's a Vancouver kid.
Gained a lot of respect for him that day because his songs are very gay.
You are Kim Spin number 517.
Hell yeah. I want a plaque.
Congratulations.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Hey, Rob,
you'll
producing
never
on
get
the
me.
fly, I just texted you something that I might need for viewer mail. Sorry.
So yeah, Snoop, Michael Bublé, they're showing him in the crowd. He's unlike Lil Wayne. Snoop is a Steelers fan and only a Steelers fan. Lil Wayne will hit you with the Packers, the Patriots.
Snoop Dogg will do the same thing.
Yeah, keep in mind, he's not from Pittsburgh.
I know he's a
originally,
Lakers fan.
right?
Yeah, no, of course
Yeah,
not.
he's
Long
from
Beach.
the LBC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw somebody put out on Twitter just him
In various.
Yeah.
10 different jerseys, kind of the Micah Parsons of
Yeah, I guess that's true. But I've always identified him as Steelers guy.
Okay.
Some others you might have more of a Micah type thing. So he was on at half, which is just a pimp piece for The Voice.
Because my Paris pal from the Olympics, Snoop, is back in the house.
In the
Snoop,
house.
It is good to see you. Every place I go, people stop me and say, I loved Snoop at the Olympics.
Hey, Mike, it's good to be seen, man. The Olympics was a beautiful thing for me to be there with you and along with all of the athletes and the families in different countries. It just represented peace and love, and that's what I'm all about. So I was happy to be able to show the world that that's who I am.
With Martha and Michael and the whole gang. Now you're here in part because you love the Steelers.
Die
Where
hard.
did it start for you?
70s, early 70s, watching the game, 1974. 3-year-old baby falling in love with the Steelers, and then watching it in 75, 76, and then seeing the Mean Joe Green commercial. And like every kid that's seen that commercial, I wanted Mean Joe to throw me his jersey.
That's right.
So I can give him my soft drink.
That's why it's so cool to see the Steelers and the Cowboys here tonight. Two of those great brands. I've loved you on The Voice. It's been a lot of
That's
fun
why.
with Michael Bublé and Reba and Gwen. What's it been like for you? You brought a little sports feel.
I
to
did.
The Voice.
I brought some of my football coaching tactics to The Voice. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like each player should be coached, differently skill set wise, and I felt like that's some things I learned on the football field. So I wanted to bring that to the football field as well as to the, to the voice set to make sure I could have some coaching from on field, on screen, on set to make everything beautiful.
Well, check it out. Mondays and Tuesdays, The Voice on NBC. I'll give you a little hint. There's a surprise guest on The Voice tomorrow night. So
It
check
is
out.
a surprise?
Just check it out. Great seeing you, Snoop.
Love you, Mike.
Love you, Mike.
Mike.
Does he really love Mike?
No.
So basically, he was a kid and he was a front runner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he
Yeah.
just stuck
Like
with
every
it
kid.
for the most part.
Yeah.
Who's the best team in the NFL? Oh, it's the Steelers?
Yeah.
I'm going to follow them.
However, as I've said before, and people get mad at me, I wish that I could have grown up like a Steelers or an Eagles fan. It just seems cooler.
Back then, I guess I get it because not every team was on TV all the time,
Yeah.
which is why there's like a lot of Cardinals fans around here, right?
For sure, Braves and Cubs were about
Okay.
all that. I know
Yeah.
you were the same way that
Yeah.
I watched.
Yeah, so I guess I kind of get this, but it's still pretty annoying.
And then let's go to the videos because I think that's all the audio we're gonna play. Do we have some videos?
Yeah. You want to do, let's see.
I say whatever you want, Big Chief.
Well, yeah, play them in order. Hitting the effing nuts. Play this one. Tyron Smith commenting on the
Tyler.
Sorry, my bad. Tyler Smith commenting on the Tolbert catch and what happened.
It's okay.
I mean, it was miraculous. I mean, bro. I mean, it was miraculous. I mean, JT literally sprained his nuts. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Man. Sprained his nuts to play before, comes back, makes the game winner. Unbelievable. Extended play. I mean, that's guys playing above the 2.3. Dudes emptying the clip. I mean, it was great stuff.
Okay.
What?
Sprained his effing nuts.
I'm looking it up.
Oh, excuse me. Sprained his nuts.
Best part.
Can you strain your testicles?
Sprain. Not strain. You can definitely strain it.
Oh, yeah. Sprain. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Maybe he meant strain?
Tried sprained his effing nuts.
I looked up sprained nuts.
Uh-huh.
And it auto-corrected it to strained and tried to direct me to websites that your roommate might have been into. No, it changed it to drained nuts.
Drained nuts.
That was the problem.
That's right.
Sorry.
There you go.
Sorry. The show got dirtier since Jake got back.
Hey now. Testy's ready. Expect Testies. What's the next one? Do you want to do the other one?
This is just the post game in the locker room, and Dak has a surprise for Coach.
Hey, we'll give you the schedule. We'll get you the schedule on the plane. Hey, guys, great job. What a hand. Keep banging. Yeah. We talked about this thing coming down to the end. 3-0. 3-0. 3-0 on the road. Hey, yeah.
Clarify.
Hey, where's my general? McCurley. Where you at?
Real quick. No General McCurley, but everybody knows we're in Pittsburgh. We don't give game balls often, but my man back here.
Bring it down. Let's go, baby.
Still doing How About Them Cowboys?
Cowboys on 3.
Listen.
1, 2, 3. Cowboys! Yeah! How about the Cowboys?
Oh, God, that's gross. We're
He
doing
never won in Pittsburgh
interesting.
First time.
with the Packers or anything, yeah.
We're doing How About Them Cowboys after a Week 3 eke out win over another, or Week 5 eke out win over another average team. Like,
Yep. That's storming the field.
devalued that to
We're
this
storming the field.
point. Oh, man. So that's the Cowboys.
When you do look at their upcoming schedule, and if you think the Cowboys have any chance at all of getting into the playoffs, last night was fucking huge.
The season would have been over.
Huge.
I mean, I know it's an AFC game, so it's not against your division opponent, but the season I think would have been effectively over.
And the narrative on Dak.
Oh yeah.
If Tolbert drops that ball or Dak overthrows him and they lose that game,
yeah,
it is a 180 from everything you read. Dak overcomes 2 interceptions to end up a hero at the end of the game. The other side of that would have been, why are we paying this guy $250 million? It's amazing that just
they really need to get 2 of the next 4 at least to stay afloat. Fortunately, the Eagles are in complete disarray. That helps, but that's balanced out by the fact that Washington pulled their head out of their ass. That's why I really think if they go get Devontae Adams and they just start throwing the ball, try to become a supercharged offense, that's their only chance of their defense being good. Because then perhaps they will play with the lead, and eventually Micah and D-Law will be back and they can get after the quarterback again. But right now, very boring.
Hey, viewer mail today is going to be brought to us by Early Bird CBD gummies.
Ooh, yeah. The good.
They are not the regular, you've probably tried CBD, or if you have in the past and been like, hey, CBD, it doesn't really do much for me. These have THC in them.
That's right.
So they are a recreational hemp product. So
they must be illegal.
In fact, one of my guys at the watch party last night, we had a couple of bags of these, and we just passed them out. One of the guys like, they drug test at work. And that's right.
He knows the deal.
If they drug test you at work, Early Bird CBD is not for you. But if you like to take the edge off at the end of the night, long day,
sure.
Then they are formulated with a microdose of THC, and they are designed to make you feel good.
And they do. You want to relax, maybe a little before you head out with some friends, lube up the conversation a little bit with some Early Bird. You can do that at earlybirdcbd.com, and you can get 20% off with the code DUMBZONE. DUMBZONE, all one word. And they're an Austin company. Look at us just supporting all these, or being supported by and being friendly with all these Texas.
We're just all about Texas.
That's right. That's exactly right. So put a smile on your face, take the edge off, earlybirdcbd.com. Use the promo code DUMBZONE. These are legit.
Hey, everybody. It's time to answer.
I'm just going to do a couple birthdays.
Can I do one first?
Oh, yeah. Do whatever you want.
I don't really think it was set up this way necessarily, although at the end I did mention it. My check-in day, for me, I'm probably going to call it, for my check-in day to treatment, my personal 9/11. Because it was on 9/11.
Oh, it was? I didn't realize that.
The most on-brand thing for our show of all time.
On 9/11 is when you checked in to rehab?
Yeah, my wife and I drove down on 9/11.
Wow, now you'll always remember.
I won't
9/11.
forget.
Yeah.
I'll never forget.
But will you rebuild?
Yes, I hope so.
Okay.
And yesterday I got home, And today's my son's second birthday. So
all right.
I'll never have to tell him I wasn't there when you turned 2 that morning.
His Jordan Lewis birthday?
There you go. I like it. Landry.
Okay.
That's my birthday.
Well, happy birthday to tiny little Carter, who probably doesn't know a thing, right?
You know how it is when you leave for even a week.
Oh, no, I'll bet he changed a bunch on you. But
yeah.
Did he forget who you were?
No. He is he's really into the football now, though. Like, he has a football, and he never really showed any interest to it. And I almost started crying last night. He's like, "What about?" And he's like throwing it to me. And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, bro. You got Joe's genes, not mine."
So, Rob, I think I'm going to use the one picture I just put in, but not the other viewer mail that I had put in earlier, if you were having to put those in some kind of an order. But I just have a few birthdays for you, and then we'll get on to some news. Dear Senior Slit Smasher.
These have gotten out of effing control, by the way.
I don't see how there was more room for that.
Trust me. Blake did a montage, and it'll blow your mind.
Patreon day 3, Substack day 1 here. I'd love a birthday shout-out for my Andrei Kirilenko birthday. My leaders are Mike Soroy's monologue skills, 90s Dan, and Blake's hatred for Kevin Burkhardt. KB.
Hey, KB.
I'm not sure if you have any, but I'd love to hear some Blake drops. Also, happy birthday to Carter Kemp from Fro. Does that bother you?
Jeremy.
Does that bother you that he knew it was Carter's birthday? Well, maybe not, because if he was listening last year, then he would have known.
Yeah, no, that doesn't bother me. It's
okay,
kind.
I know a lot about Lester. He was betting more than you.
Venmo at the Dumb Zone.
You had to wash your hands.
Caitlin
first.
Clark looks like she keep it hairy.
George Clooney.
Well, that's a good note.
Chuck Berry.
I think I golfed with him.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Why don't you fuck off, Gene?
Charlie Pride. Meghan Markle.
Megan.
Ian Johnson. Naked gay body.
All right.
Unfazed.
Happy 47th, Fro. I was a big AK-47 fan. You?
That was a fun jazz team.
Yeah.
Let's get back to this.
Who else? Boozer, Darren Williams.
Darren Williams was the...
Mehmet Okur.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Uncle Clit Commander. My daughter turns 1-year-old today. I'd like to get a name check.
The daughter of a 1-year, the father of a 1-year-old daughter is addressing you as the Clit Commander.
I mean, look at him.
So he wants a name check from you.
Okay.
She was born in Hawaii, but we're both white. Is it cultural appropriation to name her Preston Kai, K-A-I?
No. That's okay. Because the first name is so goddamn white that I think you're okay.
This is from Jared Walsh, who says, P.S., The Boys is a great show.
This has gotten out of control.
Did you start it or something?
No, it's all he talks about.
You started it, Dan?
all he talks about.
I've thought about it before, but then I was like, oh, wait, I'm not gay.
Dang.
Yes. Finally, we have an ally.
Yeah, I used to like Rob, too. Rob's like, nah, I bailed after 3.
Hey,
like, Rob watched 3 of them the first in Cleveland, and then he didn't watch any more.
What's worse? I made it through half of one and said, this isn't for me.
Picture Superman with a Twitter account.
Yeah, no, I know what it is. Gay! And when people were trying to sell it to me, like, bro, it's different than other superhero shows. Like, these are like real
what
people.
They said.
They're real people, man. These got superpowers.
That's exactly what people told me, and I bought it, and I tried to watch it. And
Can they just make another show about cops and selling drugs? Because I'll watch every one of them every time.
The thing is, I understand, if you guys don't really understand, it's a highbrow.
Yep.
It's a thinking man's show.
Yeah, picture the Flash, but he has premature ejaculation.
Yeah, right. Right. It's
common
the
problems.
Green Lantern, but he doesn't have time to pay his property taxes or dispute them, so he's
on
own well. Like, oh, it's so relatable.
You guys suck. No, I'm not even mad.
You know what's funny? Not his obsession with this show, because Dan doesn't give a damn about anything.
Yeah.
But how defensive he gets if you come at him about it. He doesn't do this
I'm not mad at all!
with anything else. There's nothing else that phases him. But if you say, I don't know, I don't watch it. Oh, you don't watch your boys. Oh, look how cool I am. You get that.
Oh, look at Danny.
See?
Upset.
He's
Somebody
doing it right now.
Somebody once made fun of
here's
Danny.
the thing.
I'm sorry.
He's
We're not
doing it
allowed
right there.
Oh, yeah, he was already taking a run at Rob earlier.
Danny's
This is
all-
awesome, by the way. I missed
can't-
this.
Can't make fun of Danny.
Dan came in here
more Dingu.
full of piss.
Dude, you know,
Let's
I
have
was
Dingu on. It really does a lot.
Well, you know the thing. I'm bullshitting you guys. I love the show, and you know why? Because I realized right away that one of the main characters was kind of supposed to be Trump, and I just really love when the creators of a show try to get a political message across, but maybe
man.
you don't get it if you're not smart enough to pick it up. And obviously you did not.
Now make fun of him because he was in rehab.
I would never do that.
Okay, I'm sure that won't become a.
This time, I'm just happy he's okay.
Yeah.
I just want him to be safe.
Yeah.
And just be back with his family,
Right.
like a homo would. Hey, Dan.
Just chase it to the end.
Amazing.
I'll need the picture in a moment. Hey, Dan, I want to wish my husband Blake, day 1, DF number 77, happy 38th birthday. His leaders are the unspoken hatred Dan has for Dingu and Blake's sweet, sweet voice. More Jake, more Blake, never Sarah Hepala. Love Lisa. And then she says, here's a very normal picture of us. And apparently this is kind of like a Halloween picture, I guess. And so that's obviously Bob Ross.
Yeah.
And I think she's supposed to be a lot lizard.
Okay, yeah, I like that a lot.
Because you look at her menu and it says HJ, $1, BJ, $2, Quickie, $2, butt stuff, $4, and then different payment possibilities like drugs, cigarettes, vending.
I like it. Yeah, and she's got the full get up on, plus the lizard, headpiece. Yeah, it's good.
Do you think they made love that night in costume? Have you ever made love in costume?
Pretty close. I was not necessarily.
That would make you feel like you're on The Boys. Because some of them will just hammer away at each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can see boobs in it. Is that selling? Am I selling you guys?
Boy,
yet?
what a last ditch.
There's boobs.
That's putting Zeke at center right there. It's like, nothing else is working.
Get a boob.
Last play of the year. Let's just give it a go.
All right. You know what we're going to do for a news sponsor today? Something that's often in the news would be.
Oh, no.
You're still flipping over in the car.
I know.
And what are you doing?
Well, you're dialing, but the thing is you might not be able to dial a bunch of numbers. All you can really get is the area code and one other digit.
Yeah, these are all threes.
Yeah, so you get a 214 or an 817, then just 333.
That's right.
33.
Frankel and Frankel.
Yes, sir.
Personal injury attorneys.
Let me tell you what came in quite handy. This is not really on the copy points, but I took my Frankel and Frankel notebook with me. So that,
wow.
Yeah. They're very, very nice notebooks.
So if you have to stop at their office for a consultation, they have a nice notepad. That's your copy.
Yeah, that's it.
See, I was thinking how insurance companies are going to try and take advantage of you, and then Frankel and Frankel will fight for your rights.
And maybe give you a notepad.
And see, I didn't even know that they would do that.
Yeah.
They have the experience and knowledge to win in the courtroom. You give them a call. You're going to talk to a partner. You're going to have somebody, a decision maker, on the line immediately. So they're great.
They are great.
They're big sponsors. And, they need to get you what you deserve, if, in fact, you do deserve something.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you might start getting calls, if there's a police report, some fly-by-night legal operation is going to swoop in and tell you, hey.
You're out of order.
Yeah, that's what.
Trial is out of order.
You know what? I'm just going to leave it to the soundboard.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So Frankel and Frankel.
Yep. Do we have like a hard out today because we have a ride and stuff, or what?
I actually just texted our ride, said we'll be about a little bit later. And he said he'll be waiting out there for us.
What service?
Yeah.
I might go so far as to say elite service.
It's such elite service. And he said he'll have a nice cold water for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's Jay with the Dumb Zone News.
Let's do this one first. This comes to us from Comal County. You know
Kamala?
No.
Kamala County?
No, not Kamala or Kamala County.
Kamambla, or whatever he was calling her.
The far left of the state?
Yeah, the far left prosecutor who locked up.
The center right of the state?
No, Comal, like the Comal River, which is down a little bit northeast of San Antonio, the county, near Austin. Not that far from where I went to college. We don't do all these stories, but this one's got a little bit of a twist to it. Of course, I'm speaking of a teacher-student sex story involving a female teacher. She, 51, does not list the age of the luckiest boy in the world.
Yes.
That's older than most.
When is the award? When is the ceremony?
A lot of times these are early 20s, and you've got an early 20s-ish, 22, 23-year-old lady, 24, and, a strapping young 16-year-old.
The TV show?
The Teacher?
My Teacher or whatever. Was it The Teacher?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how that was depicted.
Yeah. Well, she was 51, or is, Jennifer Massey. She was caught having sex with a minor student by police. And here's the twist on it. And I want everybody to be honest here. Although that's probably not really something I have to say, because if you've done this and you guys are all pigs, you'd brag about it. She was arrested after the police were called to an under construction home where her and her pupil were engaging in a sex act.
Good place to go.
Have you ever done it?
No.
Like snuck into a house that's, nearing being finished and let's go in here.
I did that once.
Yeah, nice.
It was probably 50% done, but you couldn't see into it from the outside, but there was no brick. It was framed, and then whatever goes next. And yeah,
it's great.
Now it's hot as fuck in there because it's Texas and it's summer and there's no insulation and there's obviously no electricity. But yeah, that was yeah.
Where was this?
Rehab.
You did it at rehab?
No, it was a very, very long time ago. Very, very long time.
They were building a home to the facility next door.
Yeah, no, it was a long time ago. But I also was not a teacher.
No.
So there wasn't.
Was she?
No.
The lady I'm assuming it was I shouldn't assume.
You shouldn't. It's 2024. But I did think afterward, how much more trouble I think I would have definitely gotten a trespassing charge.
What's her name?
There's no chance, bud.
And she's how old? 51?
In this case, I thought you meant the name of my girlfriend when I was 19.
No.
COMA. Here we go. Rob found her.
Yeah, there you go. Could be worse.
Did you say she's 51?
Yeah.
And it's a high school student?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Second degree felony.
Well,
I just want to know how these start.
I can tell you exactly how they start.
Okay, go ahead.
With phones. With chats through Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, probably not Twitter.
No, I'm saying like
people.
the initial icebreaker.
I think they
how
probably,
do you get to that point?
They probably both feel a little something. Usually, I would say the aggressor more than the victim, if we want to call them that.
Yeah.
And then they kind of put out the vibe. You have a human being, the younger person, who has zero reasoning capabilities or capacity for control of emotions.
Well, he sounds pretty smart to me.
They're horny as hell.
Yeah.
That's like peak
That's a key.
horny. And here's a lady.
I would have probably had sex with any 50-year-old teacher that texted me and said she wanted to.
Any.
Boy, you didn't go to my high school.
No, I'm saying, dude, he was
I
in
don't know,
Ohio. Some of those, you don't think he had a couple of, like,
you know how that is.
2.5 bill
When you're that
Slovaks?
age, man, you don't know. It's whatever.
Yeah.
You're just looking for anything. At least me.
Yeah.
Maybe hot guys like Danny slaying it all over the place.
You didn't know me in high school.
I just know what you look like.
Yeah.
You're a snack.
Let's see here. late last night in Fort Worth, a bar fight that occurred actually resulted in a shooting, a police chase, and a crash. This is the rare bar fight that did not stay a bar fight. So around 11 o'clock last night, two rival groups, they were just snapping in the bar, and then all of a sudden it turns into a big fight. Both groups leave the club. They get into their cars, one of them in a Dodge Charger, the other group in an SUV, and they're firing at each other on the road.
Wow. Okay.
And the SUV crashes into a pickup truck. The Charger flees. Police chase it. This feels just like back in my day, we'd settle that right there. Somebody grab a bar stool, somebody grab a bottle, the cops are there, and it's over.
Did you mention what neighborhood or what bar?
It doesn't say the bar, but it's 2500.
Don't you own a bar in Fort Worth?
Not anymore.
Oh.
We shut that bitch down.
COVID was a tough go.
Yeah, was it COVID?
Yeah. Industry. Yeah, we never recovered.
But your other one's still open, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know where this is. This is like North Fort Worth.
So then police are chasing both the cars at the same
Not all the way
time?
north like 28th Street, Northeast 28th Street area. Yes.
And
Yeah,
then, so then
they're
they had to
trading
kind of like
gunfire.
Yeah, who should I fight here?
Right.
Now the police are chasing both of us. Should we band together?
Maybe let them just take care of it.
Yeah.
So this didn't happen inside the Boiled Owl or something.
No, it wasn't at the Boiled Owl. God, I loved that place. So smoky and...
Wait, what time did it happen? Around 11?
It's probably Cowboy related.
Yeah,
right? Everybody's
they're all
fired
pissed.
up and hammered. Yeah.
That was still during the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're pissed because it's a slog. You're like, what is this?
Yeah,
Yep.
This isn't NFL football that I want to see.
You had the over.
Yeah.
What was it?
43 and a half.
Oh, the over. Sorry.
43 and a half. Yeah.
Dude, I have a 3-team parlay, and if New Orleans hits tonight.
Yeah, I came back yesterday to find out that Dan is not just like doing our picks and knockout league. He's like hitting 3-leg parlays now of his own.
Just having fun.
He's drinking.
Yeah.
I'm drinking. Look, you left, and I fell apart.
He eats bananas now
Yeah.
instead of apples.
On one bite.
I do this story specifically because Danny is here. But recently, I think over the weekend, the 76th annual Big Tex Youth Livestock Auction was held at the State Fair of Texas. And the winning steer, an 18-month-old steer named Haggard.
Wow.
Named after Merle.
Yep.
Netted the senior at Stanton High School $180,000 in Scully money.
Isn't that incredible?
$180K. That'll at least pay for a class. That's a joke about the rising cost of education in this country. It's out of control.
I never could understand why prize money. When I was a kid, if you had a top winning show steer or pig, and these kids were walking away with like 30 grand,
which is
20
insane.
grand, which in the 80s was a lot.
Yeah. That's wild.
And I guess they just donate this stuff to them. I mean, I had to sell mine per the pound.
Yeah, because
just for pork production because it got sifted, and I think I walked like $162.
Right. Sad state of affairs.
Did you ever raise a pig, Dan, in Ohio?
Let me think. I don't think I did, no.
He was looking for a sex joke.
He was.
Like, he was looking for a
overweight girl
pig.
joke. Yeah.
And he decided to pass.
You guys don't know me.
I had relatives that were hippies, but all we ever had, I think, was chickens. Not we, but we'd go to their house and they had, a real hippie backyard and they had chickens. But for some reason, I feel like there was a pig at one point. Maybe my grandparents had one on their farm.
You see Nate Bargatze this weekend?
I watched a couple sketches, but I am planning on watching it with the wife tonight.
Did you see the George Washington one?
No, I heard they went back to it, though.
Okay, yeah.
All I've seen is...
just talking about chickens and pigs.
All I've seen is the spoof, which I feel like we should have written 10 years ago because I used to religiously watch the show, and I know Danny did, was the spoof of Sábado Gigante.
Okay, I didn't see that.
Or Lagramita y Costel.
Y Costel is another
They're all
classic.
kind of, yeah.
Sábado Gigante is like Mexico Saturday Night Live, but it's exactly how Mexican you think it is. Like there's a Mexican
like
Dracula
a bee costume, and
bee costume. It's the most over the top shit you could ever see on TV.
hot chick.
Little people.
Oh, always in
hot
like a
chick.
club dress. Get a little person out there
Little
without a
person
doubt.
or a kid with a beard.
Yeah, and like they'll play games. None of the rules make sense.
No.
Like there's just
Prizes are terrible.
shit going on everywhere.
A KT game.
Stop doing that.
It's so true.
You didn't. I was.
It's Mexican KT.
We
We
ramped that up when you were gone.
And the guy talks I could expect nothing less. Anyways, they interviewed the young lad who, or maybe it's a woman, Jade Stone. What do you think? Oh, this one says his. Okay. He says it's everyone's dream at a cattle barn to win a major.
A major?
Yeah. It's an accomplishment to me. This is one of my biggest accomplishments. Sun up, sun down, late nights, early morning. This is all we do. That's how it was for Danny as well.
I take my commitment very seriously.
Let's see. What else do we want to touch on here? Oh, yeah. This is a tough one, pal. We got a Matt Bush story, and it's not about getting back to the bigs.
You run over someone else's head?
I don't think he ran over somebody else's head and tried to flee this time, but he did try to flee this time.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he, of course, did quite a bit of jail time before. And there was a Real Sports about it, if I recall, where they interviewed the guy whose head he ran over. He forgave him, and it was a great comeback story. He was with the Rangers off and on for like 6 years, and last year, or I suppose this year, was his first year out of baseball. But he was arrested around 8:30 on Friday night. He was driving erratically. They tried to pull over his Lincoln Aviator, and instead of pulling over, he says, fuck it, sped off, and the officer lost sight of him. Just a little bit later, there's a crash reported involving multiple vehicles. The cops show up at that, and he takes off. And eventually they track him down. Well, not they track him down, but bystanders chased him down and detained him.
Really?
Some good Samaritans.
You
think you're built for that life?
No way.
No.
I'm just not a good Samaritan. That's the problem.
Yeah, so he did 52 months.
Yeah, hard prison, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, when he got out, he was trying to make his way back.
Yeah.
He did.
Didn't they? Yeah, but leading back to that, and he was really good at times.
He was.
Incredibly good.
Yeah.
But is he the story with him? And I think other pitchers have probably gone through this, where he had to like audition in a parking lot at
it was something like
at a
that, wasn't
restaurant
it?
or something like that for some agent or a scout.
Okay, I know he had to do an audition, but I think also he was working at a restaurant, and on break he would go throw to another guy who worked there.
Yes, and I think he did.
It was like a Fridays,
Yeah.
so the whole story just seemed really beaten. By the way, love Fridays. Hit us up.
Sure.
Half off apps, right?
But I'm just saying, if you're
love the flair.
You gotta have the proper flair. Oh, is that from this one?
Gosh, yeah, that looks like now.
Does that look like when you got into rehab?
No, but I will tell you, I did keep my photo because I hadn't had a haircut in a long time, and my beard was about the lengths that Matt Bush is there, and that makes you look just shittier already. My eyebrows are out of control still. I get them waxed.
Did your roommate do that?
Yeah,
yeah,
get
but
him waxed.
He did bring wax strips, but I didn't. I don't know. The lady I get it done by, that Dan also goes to, she's a pro's pro.
Yeah.
But they do have a full panel, like you're a dinosaur at Jurassic Park, of every bit of information about you with the picture you got when you got in. Mine was, I looked bad, but it wasn't like I was in a panel of people that look great. Everybody kind of does.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen to Bush here, but it's not looking great. You've already done – I think in Texas you have to have at least a second DUI to get a felony. I don't think your first one is. Does that sound right, Danny?
Well, I don't even know if his first So I don't know. This probably doesn't have anything to do with his prior DWIs that landed him in prison for as long as he was in, right?
I don't know.
And if that carries over from state
Well,
to state.
okay, here's the thing. He had already been arrested for felony assault before that.
He relapsed at some point during his second stint as a player.
That's right.
I feel like that's true.
One of the times that he got arrested, oh yeah. Okay, we'll go to the 2009 one. According to witnesses, a drunken Bush beat up a high school lacrosse player with a golf club while screaming, "I'm Matt fucking Bush."
Okay.
The kid needed to know.
Yeah. And then a late developing story here. This just took place about an hour ago. A small plane has crashed into Eagle Mountain Lake. Yeah. No word on how many people are on board yet or if anyone was hurt, but these small planes, Dan, feel like a death trap.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever go in one again. I suppose if somebody offers me a PJ ride, then I'm going to have to do it.
Well, those aren't really small, are they? That's a jet.
I mean, I don't know.
Private plane, or excuse me, a small plane. I've been on one or two, and you're real tight in there with at most 8 people. A private jet is that's a different animal, I would think.
This is a really small plane.
Yeah.
What are you saying? You're in with, how many did you say? 8 or 10?
At most, there was 8. It was somewhere in Latin
I feel like I've been on a
you probably
one that size, but I considered that to be a private jet. Maybe it wasn't.
It's not a jet.
Yeah.
Now,
I don't know what a jet is.
I was going to say, if you're about to ask me the difference between the plane. Size, the jet engine, it has to be about the engine. The key difference between a jet and an airplane is that to be a jet,
you need a jet engine.
A plane has to have a jet engine. Well, yeah, fucking thank you.
Yeah. Typically no propeller on a jet engine.
Essentially, every jet is an airplane, but not every airplane is a jet.
Oh, I see
Got a
here.
Square rectangle stitch going on.
There it is. Look on your monitor.
Yeah.
See here, it says it's 6'2", 185 pounds.
I knew where he was headed before he got there.
What?
Did he come off the bench?
I mean, he was a first-round pick, so he was kind of a starter for the first part of his career. Drafted by the Hawks, 10th overall.
He's real pleased with himself, ladies and gentlemen. I'll just let you know that. And I think that's a solid way for me to
in the news,
seppuku the news today, and just let it die honorably.
Like and subscribe.
Nice reference in honor of Shogun cleaning out the Emmys.
Oh, they did?
Oh man, they won a bunch of stuff.
I guess I missed that.
Yeah.
When is the one that Nikki Glazer's hosting? Was that it?
I didn't watch it.
Oh.
I just read the article.
Okay, well, geez, dude,
I'm
sorry.
not mad. No, I'm okay. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Dan's the one that's mad today, not me.
That's right. I'm mad because I don't have any Lone Star beer in front of me. We're going to talk about Lone Star beer for a second. We had Lone Star and Lone Star Light at last night's watching party as well. In fact, what watching party would be complete without the national beer of Texas? I ask you. Yeah, we have a partnership with Lone Star Beer now. Don't know if you saw this. We have their logo. Their big sign is now in our studio as well. Lone Star Beer, perfect with a tray of barbecue, crisp flavor.
It's also really good with pizza.
Is that right?
I had it last night with pizza.
Oh, that's right.
It's fantastic.
Blake was pounding the pizza and pounding the Lone Star Light. They're celebrating. You were drinking Lone Star regular.
Red can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blake wants the red can. I get the blue can.
Mm-hmm.
They're celebrating 140 years of brewing in Texas, and they decided what better way to celebrate than to partner up with the Dumb Zone. So that's what they are doing. We're in a collab, I guess you would say, with Lone Star Beer, and they're awesome. Great dudes as well. And the Dumb Zone 21 is now set up on their website, so you can go to LoneStarBeer.com. Use the code DumbZone21. You can get 21% off merchandise. You must be 21 or over to purchase merchandise at LoneStarBeer.com. So, go check them out. I grabbed a 12-pack the other day in the grocery store as well because we need a little extra for the party. So, Lone Star Beer, and don't forget Lone Star Light. That's my thing. Lone Star Light. Right now, I press this button, and all of a sudden,
The Dumb Zone presents
we're doing this.
Today in History.
It's Monday, October 7th. Our elite ride is waiting outside for us, so we'll get there in a moment, Jake. On this day in 1916, it was the most lopsided victory in college football history. I suppose it would also be the most lopsided loss in college football history. But it doesn't say that here in the copy point, or in the AP copy. Georgia Tech, coached by John Heisman.
Oh, wow.
Faced Cumberland University. What do you think their nickname was?
Cum Boys?
The Cum Boys. They won 222-0.
What? Oh, hell yeah.
There were no first downs by either team. Cumberland did not make one first down. And Georgia Tech scored on every offensive play.
What? What year was this?
1916. So we were wondering last night during the stream, was this how football was in the 70s? 17-13, just
ugly games.
Crappy, muddy, whatever games. But apparently there used to be higher scoring games.
God, that is right at the top 10 things of things I wish were on video.
What did the other team look like?
I'd
That's
really like to see
almost
that.
impossible to even consider, right?
Could Cumberland that day?
Maybe they were covered in cum. Didn't want to go try and pack.
Can't see them. My eyes are stinging.
Okay, could Cumberland from that day beat the best kindergarten team in the state of Texas right now?
Well, that's interesting.
So you got a group of like 19 to 22-year-old men and a group of 5,
Kindergarten's
6.
a little silly.
Yes.
Okay, but
Pee-wee.
what if they have like 6-year-old, 7-year-old because they held him back? Kyler Murray?
9th grade team.
Oh, that's a.
No,
they could
You
beat
say any 9th grade team
could beat the Cumberland Cowboys.
Dan, they could not beat a 6th grade team.
I think that's where I would put it.
Like I
Sixth
said,
grade.
the best in the state. You're going to get those like Friday night Tykes kids.
Do you think there's any way we can actually see this happen?
No.
AI might be able to make it happen. On this day in 1998, Matthew Shepard, a gay college student, was beaten and left tied to a wooden fence post outside Laramie, Wyoming. He died 5 days later. Is this the one where some radio guy got fired for, or was that the dragging?
Yeah, I think that was Jasper. I'm pretty sure.
Was that a gay guy? No, that was a black guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're both pretty bad situations.
Way to step out there, bud.
This program would like to...
Is there a bright side to the story?
Condemn in the strongest of words.
The bright side is no radio guy got fired after this one because everybody knew this was much too serious to make any light of at all. Which is not that bright of a side because then there was less jobs for us. So maybe this is just all over.
Why don't you just...
Move on?
Just
on this day in
kinda-
2003, California voters recalled Governor Gray Davis and elected Arnold.
Arnold. That was wild, dude. That's when I learned what a recall was. Because, like...
Oh, yes, I learned that.
No. Well, I didn't know that. It's
I don't
not every
know it.
state, but who all ran? Didn't, like... what? There's 2 younger black actors who were on shows. You got Willis.
There's only 2?
I'm talking
Webster.
about Webster and
Gary Coleman?
Oh, yeah, Gary Coleman did run for governor.
one of them was in that run.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
go Gary Coleman,
Yeah.
who said...
What are you talking about, Willis?
That's right.
What are you?
That's his famous catchphrase. On this day in 2006, Mean Green believers got to see UNT win a 7-overtime game.
Rice.
Nope.
Damn.
Florida International, where Dennis Hopovac hit his 5th field goal of the game to win the game. Dennis Hopovac spelled his name with one N, so it looks like Denis. You guys are so immature, thinking that's funny. I won't have it.
I don't feel like I had a choice.
And on this day in 2023, Hamas-led militants launched air and ground attacks on Israel, killing nearly 1,200, taking more than 250 hostages. The attacks followed hours later by Israeli counterattacks marked the beginning of the current Israel-Hamas war, which we here at the Dumb Zone condemn.
Well,
right?
We issued a ceasefire.
Yes. Like the San Antonio City Council.
Yep.
Right. Weighing in, yeah.
Said they want no more bloodshed.
Yeah. And the good news is that worked. And
Yes.
We'll never have another war like this again.
Let's issue
with
a
those
proclamation that we also want no more bloodshed.
two. What about a day?
One
Make
day
it
of
see-
total bloodshed?
Well, that's a good idea too, but I just think we need like a ceasefire day and then Luca Day. And
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Well, I mean, even in World War I, didn't the Germans and the Russians celebrate Christmas together in a one-day ceasefire? Is that not in your book?
Get to Christmas yet?
No.
Yeah.
They'll get there?
Don't spoil it for them.
I thought it was going to end with August.
Oh.
But no, we're still.
It actually is going to go to the next August, and I think the next August, too. It's
Okay,
a lot
cool.
of August in there.
Yeah, and then eventually they're just writing about preseason football.
Yeah.
4 years of trench fun.
Yeah, they were all pretty sure it was going to be a few months.
You know, there was a young corporal in the
Dude,
the
this
German-
guy is
A lot of
like
the reparations
a
are
few minutes away from telling me that the Treaty of Versailles was a little too strong. Didn't have to smack him quite like that.
famous wedding on this date in 1989. Larry King, talk show host, married Julie Alexander.
Oh man, what a great Wikipedia page.
That is the 6th of his 8 marriages.
Which one was this? Julie Alexander?
Yeah.
That one made it 3 years.
Okay, nice.
His second to last wife.
Famous divorce on this date in 1988. Robin Givens filed for divorce after 8 months of marriage to Mike Tyson.
So did he remarry an old one?
No. He did marry one woman twice, though. His third wife he was married to for 2 years, got divorced, and got back together with her 4 years later, and then stayed married to her for another 5 years.
How many wives did he have in between remarrying his former wife?
One. No.
2?
One. Yeah. One. Yeah. Okay. And he was with her for... No, 2. 2. One of them he was with for 1 year, the other one with for 4 years, so he was never not married. He was divorced to her from 5 years and smashed 2 marriages in there. And you know what's awesome about it, too, is he got divorced in 2019 when he was 85 and then died 2 years later. So it's not like he even
I can't
died
even live with her for
married.
this.
Yeah. Like, I know I'm about to die.
She wipes me and all that, but no, I got to...
Wipes me.
Today's birthdays, we lead off with 62 years old, former NFL running back, Tom Rathman.
Hell yeah.
And you can see he was a clear other option. I mean, they should have thrown it more, but you had Tom Rathman. Let's go through his 9-year career. Rushing yards by year, 138, 257, 427, which was his career high. We'll just stop right there.
Well, without him.
305, 318, 183, 80. Anyway.
He was efficient, though, at 3.7 yards a carry.
There's no Lipke without Rathman.
I was actually thinking the same thing.
He was a special player, though.
He was, I don't know. He was a pioneer, Dan.
I like me some Lipke. He's one of the few out there that actually cares about the game and will play without having to be paid, you know? Shows up early.
Dude, he's just
Stays
a lunch
late,
pail type of guy.
Knows where to be.
Kind of seems like a coach on the field.
Sure.
Chase Daniel, 38.
He's made so much money.
Is he on the list already? Did you write mine down?
Oh, yeah.
I saw him passed out in the middle of the day outside of Superior Grill in New Orleans.
Chase Daniel?
Mm-hmm. We were down there for one of my brother's games, and Superior Grill was an awesome place, party place. It was a Saturday afternoon in the summer, so he didn't have anything to do. No. Maybe they were just off. I don't know, but
well, he's Chase Daniel, so he didn't have anything to do.
yeah.
Right?
But you don't want to be passed out, so maybe we were down there a little bit.
But he
early.
never even got a
Outside of
shot
season.
as
starter,
try
yeah.
starting with this guy for a year.
I just saw him sit down.
Like
in
so
front
many
of a
spares
tree,
have.
Sit down in front of a tree and be like, maybe this is where I'll take
this
a
is a
little
good
nap.
spot.
Yeah, I'm Chase Daniel. Cool dude.
Priest Holmes, 51.
In his day, man.
Mookie Betts, 32. Did you see Profile rob him yesterday?
I heard about that. Yeah. I don't miss anything in October.
Evan Longoria, 39. The War Games, Evan Longoria versus Mookie Betts.
Longoria's played for a long time.
Longevity.
Let's go Mookie.
It can't be Mookie.
It is Mookie. 69.6 to 58.6. Mookie
Wow.
Betts, 32 years old.
A lot older
Hall
than
of Famer?
Yeah.
I feel like that's...
Yeah.
I don't feel like Mookie Betts is a Hall of Famer, but
No.
if you say that and you're like, well, what if he adds another 20 or 30 WAR?
Yeah.
Charles Woodson, 48.
Man.
Bree Olson, 38.
Of Coach Heisman. Who's she again?
Charlie Sheen's favorite porn star back in the day when we were doing the Sheenius tour.
Is that her?
She the one on the right?
She is the blonde.
Did she give him AIDS?
Who's the guy in the middle? He looks like he's from Kids in the Hall.
I was going to say, isn't he dead? Didn't he drink too much?
I don't remember. Is that him?
That's the Kids in the Hall guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she must be in a
Why
skit,
is he-
skit with him or something.
Why is he giving her a mammogram?
Oliver North, 81.
He
Vladimir
sold weapons.
Putin is 72.
Contra rebels or something.
Simon Cowell, 65.
I'm sorry, what was the one that...
Oliver North?
Oh, dude, you know the best thing about that? Much like with Mark Furman, whenever there's like, hey, there's a trial going on. Let's check in with this disgraced detective for his analysis of the crime. Whenever there's something popping off for America, like in a war, they're like, let's go to the conscience of any war effort. It's Ollie North.
Some consider him a true patriot.
Like on Fox News. I'm like, this guy's he was arrested. I don't know. Dave Foley alive. No, that's not Dave Foley, is it? Is it?
I think it is Dave Foley.
He had a problem. I don't know.
I think he did. He's looking really puffy.
Yeah.
Not there. He's looking pretty good there.
Yeah.
She's puffy.
He was in was he in like the recent Fargo?
Yes, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Simon Cowell, 65.
Can't stand
Allison Munn, 50.
Who's
Says
that?
here that 70s show. So I thought you'd be stoked on it. Jamie Hector is 49.
You want it to be one way.
But it's the other way. Nicole Ari Parker is 54. She is Becky Barnett in Boogie Nights. The tall black lady. I just love Boogie Nights. We're going to mention anybody who is in Boogie Nights. Yo-Yo Ma is a cellist and 69. Tony
Blake.
Braxton is 54.
We got him. Broke up the big three.
And Thom Yorke is 56.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Thom.
Yeah.
From Radiohead.
I
which
still haven't listened to your new record yet.
I didn't know there was one.
Yeah, the Smile dropped a brand new one on Friday.
Did you see Thom Brenneman did a college football game?
I was 99% sure that was a drop until I looked up.
Okay.
Easy.
Did somebody
did a college football
Drop
game.
Beth will get that for us.
As long as
what did he do?
Just say this. SMU TCU.
Oh, okay. So like weeks ago?
Yeah, but he put a headset on. again.
Yeah,
Oh,
did they
okay,
actually?
well, he'd already been doing a little bit, right?
The problem was
Really?
he wasn't allowed to wear a headset.
Yeah, so
so
he just had
all of
to
the
freestyle.
production notes were
Dick
just
Mike.
like
Couldn't talk to
lost
the
on
truck.
him. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
It's all over the map.
Born on this Day Now Dead, Heinrich Himmler and Tony Sparano.
Love Tony Sparano, author of one of my favorite football coaching bits of all time. I've mentioned this before, right? Yeah. When he took over as an interim coach, I think from the Raiders, and this is straight out of a high school football practice. He had the whole team. He printed up a bunch of copies of their schedule up to that point and brought out a bunch of shovels and was like, man, we're burying what's happened before. And they literally buried pieces of paper for inspiration. Like, yeah, this will do it.
Does that stuff help?
No, but I love it, though.
I think at Clemson they have a little graveyard where they've buried play sheets or something. I don't know. They got something like that.
It's football. Football.
You know.
Dead on this day, still dead. We have Edgar Allan Poe.
Devontae.
And early in your time gone, somebody had emailed us alleging that Danny, because you weren't you were here, and it was the old wall. And then you were gone, yet then we had this wall. And somebody said Danny came in and walled you up behind the pro slat wall.
Then I went full telltale heart on your ass.
But then, yes,
That's
he
awesome.
felt very guilty because he heard your heart beating or something.
But then I realized it was my own.
Well, you guys were fucking bored.
Yeah. You missed some quality programming. And then also died on this day in 2005, Charles Rocket. It says here, comedian.
Oh, I've heard of this guy before, right?
Then it says suicide, slit his own throat.
He's in the SNL book.
Which I would tell you that you are not going to be a successful comedian if you're doing stuff like that. That's not funny at all.
Rarely hear that, if at all. As a method of.
Do you not remember this from the SNL book?
Somewhat.
He did they did a spoof of Who Shot JR. Of Dallas in the Who Shot JR episode. And so anyways, Charlene Tilton's on it, and she asks him, playing JR, like, how do you feel about being shot? And in character, he replied, oh man, it's the first time I've ever been shot in my life. I'd like to know who fucking did it. But it was live. And in 1981, that gets you fired. Which is crazy. I mean, I guess it is network TV, and they had told him not to do it, and he did it anyways. But I will tell you that as much as they try to edit the McAfee show, they have no problem with the word shit, for sure. It's really just the F word and a couple others. They don't get all the F words on ESPN.
Really?
Yeah.
On big ESPN?
Shit is no problem. They'll do that no matter what. But, like, for example, they had Marshawn Lynch on the other day for the Cow game. About half of the audio was gone. And a couple times they missed the F word or the N word.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There's hope for us all.
He runs the company.
Well, I like that. Right? We want power with the people. You gonna be here tomorrow, or?
I need to ease my way back in.
Okay.
No, I'll be here tomorrow. Are we here tomorrow? Is that
It
the
was
move?
almost like he was intimating that
We
you
are
were going
here.
to go on a bender tonight. And
Yeah,
end
who
up back
knows?
in the-
Yo, I met a guy.
Having to be a deal with us.
I met a guy who came in at the end. A sweetheart of a dude, but he was out. He just got there like my second to last day. He was out for 30 minutes from his last one.
30 minutes?
45 days. 45 days, dude. And he was like 30 minutes later. He was like, I was headed back to another
Wow.
one. Yeah, I'm like, whew. Wow. So as long as I clear the half hour mark,
Yeah.
I'm not the worst.
You should be fine. Yeah, we're gonna stream tomorrow, but just for subscribers only.
Okay.
It's Tuesday and
Adios,
Thursday.
mofo.
Tuesday
Gotta
and
go
Friday.
before this
Sorry.
becomes a zoo. That's the show, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Subscribe and type for my name if you want to watch more of my videos.
Danny Bayless, Danny Bayless, Danny Bayless, Danny Bayless, Knox City Knocker. Danny Bayless, Danny Bayless, Danny all laugh, make us all laugh, make us all laugh. Ha 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 ha. Please welcome to the show the genius, Danny Bayless, Danny Bayless, Danny Bayless, Danny Bayless.